We find ourselves in the capital of California for the second semifinal, where the citizens of Sacramento believe their indomitable city is capable of overthrowing a perennial powerhouse of the Lamar U.S. Open Cup.
The field doesn't care if you're a pro. It only asks, how bad do you want it? America's oldest soccer tournament is back. The Lamar U.S. Open Cup.
This is what the Cup is all about. A second division outfit hosting a Major League Soccer side that has won this trophy 4 times over. The Kings of California, Sacramento Republic, play host to an unlikely yet familiar juggernaut in Sporting Kansas City for a date with Orlando City in the 107th edition of the Lamar U.S. Open Cup final, and the Lions punching their ticket into that final earlier tonight with a 5-1 resounding win over the New York Red Bulls. And welcome pitchside here at Heart Health Park, Tyler Terrence, along with the incomparable Devin Kerr. We could not be more excited about this game. The only people more excited are the people of Sacramento. This game has been sold out for over 2 weeks. Well over 11,000 tickets have been sold. But let's get down to business. Sacramento, a second division side. They've already taken down 2 MLS outfits within California alone to get to this point. Meanwhile, their opposition, Sporting Kansas City, have been dreadful in league play. But this is a side that is not unfamiliar at all with these stakes and these circumstances. It's going to shake up to be a really interesting one tonight.
I look at it as the bold and the beautiful of sorts, right? Except the difference is the contrast is actually from Sacramento Republic. They are the beautiful. They're relevant within league play. They're a team that has looked magnificent throughout the Cup run, but it's the chameleonic nature from Sacramento Republic that has allowed them to get to this point. They've changed every single game, half to half, sequence to sequence. They would love to have the ball and run all the statistics off the charts, and yet the last 2 victories against San Jose and LA Galaxy have been less about possession and more about their effectivity within the final third. They counter with the best of them. It's going to look the same tonight, because guess what? No changes for Mark Briggs from that 2-1 victory against LA Galaxy. So what does it look like? Viader and Jack Kerr, catalyst for having success. Viader is going to be matched up against Johnny Russell. Can he maintain a presence on both sides of the ball when you're counter-pointed to one end of the field and then go the other direction? The midfield 3 is compact. Roro Lopez will be given freedom to roam, but the 9 position up top and Douglas Martinez has to get going for them to find success.
Meanwhile, for Peter Vermees in Sporting Kansas City, this is a group that's sitting in dead last in the Western Conference. They're the worst attacking team in Major League Soccer, and they're one of the worst defending sides. Yet here they are with another chance to get to a Cup final, because that's simply what Sporting Kansas City does.
This is the bold of it, though, right? This is, everybody looks at what they're doing within MLS. Last in the Western Conference. They struggle to put goals in the back of the net. They struggle to keep the ball out. And yet, they're right back where they belong. Next to the Seattle Sounders, this team has dominated Open Cup play. So how have they been able to do it? It's different. It's not the 4-3-3 traditional fluid nature that we see out of Peter Vermees. This team digs in a little bit. They like to counter to, and yet still, they have one of the most consistent front lines that we see within MLS. The numbers tell a story of a different thing, right? They have struggled. But I still go back to the fact that they have 4 titles, an opportunity to take down a 5th. No one in Major League Soccer history has had the ability to do that. But Peter Vermees is going to make a couple of changes. Let's start in the midfield in the team against LAFC on the weekend. They look good through the first 45 minutes. What can they do now on the road? Short West, Voltaire stays in the 6. I look at Eric Tommy, 26 within the midfield. They've really struggled to have that 8-10, pushing the tempo forward. He gave us about 61 minutes of that. That's going to be a key look for them. And then the speed from outside. Ben Sweat and Graham Zusi. That's safe on the back line. It'll be consistent. But can they provide you enough glimpse going forward? That's been the bread and butter for Sac Republic, the outside backs. Against them, can Sporting Kansas City now double it and fight fire with fire?
We'll find out in just a few moments. Kickoff right around the corner at Sacramento and Kansas City for a spot in the final.
Baby, it's over.
I mean, we both saw this coming.
I'm sorry.
We play for the love of the game, but after years of
final of the Lamar U.S. Open Cup, Tyler Terrence, Devin Kerr on hand, but for now, let's toss it down to the third member of our crew, Jordan Angeli.
Tyler, a lot to talk about in this game because this is what it's all about. These teams are seeking a championship. For Sporting Kansas City, that they know what it takes. 4-time Open Cup winners, but for them, this Open Cup run has looked different than the others. In MLS play, just 5 wins on the season. They sit in last place of the Western Conference. So this has the potential to be the lone bright spot of the Sporting Kansas City season. For Sacramento, this is a team who overhauled in the offseason to become a championship squad, and those overhauls have paid dividends. Rodrigo Lopez leads the team with chance creation, and they added some solidification in the back line with players like Lee Desmond, who has played the most minutes of this team. Sacramento, here at home, have played like their city's namesake, indomitable. They have 11 straight Open Cup game wins here. Guys, tonight, can they make it 12? That's the big question.
Well, we are about to find out. Thank you so much, Jordan. Appreciate it. The Sacramento Republic side hovering right around the playoff line in the Western Conference of the USL Championship. Meanwhile, for Sporting Kansas City, as we mentioned, it has not been their year in league play. It's been dominated by injuries. It's been dominated by excuses that Peter Vermees simply does not want to hear. It's been much more difficult than they ever could have possibly imagined, but they find themselves in a hostile environment in the capital of California. John Pulskamp once again will get the start in between the sticks, as he has done throughout the U.S. Open Cup, but really by default, as Tim Melia went out with an injury over the weekend against Los Angeles FC. Rodrigo Lopez is tied for the Golden Boot race in this edition of Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup with 4 goals on the season. This crowd is always known to be one of the more raucous in all the USL Championship, and they will be on full display tonight. Alan Chapman is our referee for this occasion. The winner, an opportunity to take on Orlando City after their win earlier tonight. And away we go. Turn off the world and turn on the game. A spot in the final of the 107th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is on the line. It's Sacramento Republic and Sporting Kansas City. Tyler Terrence, Devin Kerr, and Jordan Angeli alongside with you. Thank you so much for tuning in here on ESPN+. And right off the bat, Sporting Kansas City looking to get going. And that particular move is broken up by the Sacramento Republic back line that has proved to be one of the more cohesive in this competition, stymieing the likes of LA Galaxy, San Jose Earthquakes, Central Valley, Phoenix Rising. Ball finds the feet of Graham Zusi, the 35-year-old veteran, as EC Montmarine able to find the head of Roger Espinoza. And here goes Kyrie Shelton, former Oregon State product. Shelton's going to have a go, and it's just wide, but an early shout from Peter Vermees' side, 60 seconds in, and our first real opportunity, Dev.
I told you coming in, you got to watch the wingback spots, because if Dami Vierdere comes up, it's going to expose the back three, and a lot of one-on-one situations. You have to be concerned with the speed when you look at someone like Lee Desmond, Shallowy, Shelton, Russell, anybody on that front three that's starting to push the envelope into the final third. You've got to find a way to create coverage down in the channels if you want to have success against Sporting Kansas City.
Kyrie Shelton has been getting the starts the majority of the time in the number 9 position, of course, with the season-ending injury to DP Alan Polito. That's been paired with the season-ending injury to Gadi Kinda in the middle of the park. And speaking with Peter Vermees earlier in the season ahead of their round of 16 matchup against the Houston Dynamo, he said he can't remember an MLS side that's had to deal with that level of injuries to those types of caliber of players within the designated player role. Meanwhile, Sacramento Republic have never even heard of what a designated player is, because that's simply not how rosters are built in the USL Championship. The resource disparity glaring between these two sides, but the ability to win both on par as they find themselves in a semifinal, as Douglas Martinez causing some issues in Sacramento Republic on the attack for the first time this evening. Martinez squaring ball, and it's over the bar. Good run in the middle of the park. It was Jack Gurr, and the Quails getting going after the 2-minute mark.
I told you coming in, there's a consistency about this team, but it's also the change that they show you. The inverting run by Jack Kerr here is everything, because as the ball springs to the far side, he's smart enough to recognize that the space is going to open back up onto the interior. Got to tuck himself back in and just slides into this little pocket of space. Really well done in transition. Head's got to be down to keep that on the turf.
Well, this certainly has all the feel of a semifinal in the opening moments. Delivery over the head of Pulskamp. It'll stay in play, and a Bit of work to do here for Graham Zusi, but he shepherds the ball out of play. And Peter Vermees was kind enough to sit down with us yesterday afternoon at the team's hotel. And Devin, a pragmatic, honest man who said that this has been a struggle this season, more so than they ever could have imagined, but they're simply taking this one game at a time, whether it's league play or Open Cup play, and treating basically every game like it's a one-off final.
You and I were both a bit taken back by his hesitancy on the opening response. Right? He took a second, 20, 30 seconds, in fact, to collect himself and just said, listen, here's where we're at. We're struggling. We know it. But he also said that the greatness about this team is he's seen other teams put their head down, you know, sort of fade quietly away into the night. They're not like that. You know, it's still spirited within the locker room. Everybody still wants to get a victory. And to be this far into the season, looking up at everybody else into the table to make a cup run like this and still have that belief within a squad, you say indomitable for Sacramento Republic. That's almost unprecedented for a team that's come this far.
First time that Sporting Kansas City has been on the road in this tournament. They've had the pleasure of playing in one of the more difficult environments in Major League Soccer at Children's Mercy Park, taking down the likes of the Houston Dynamo, FC Dallas, and Union Omaha, as Graham Zusi intervening at an opportune time for the Sporting Kansas City back line, but it'll stay with Sacramento. Here's Montlagrassa. Luis Felipe. Already has a couple of goals to his name in this competition, looking for the big diagonal switch. Ben Sweat is on the scene, though. Comes Daniel Shallowy and company. Heavy challenge from Lagrassa, and he's able to win the ball for Sacramento. And Mark Briggs in this Sacramento Republic side. Truly the Cinderella story of 2022 in this competition, but Briggs not unfamiliar with runs in the U.S. Open Cup and taking down competition that theoretically they shouldn't be taking down. Back to his Wilmington Hammerhead days as both a player and a coach. Turnover, chance for Johnny Russell. He's been the man, tries to cut it back to his right foot, and that is a rare mistake from the Scotsman, who has been lights out in this competition and really the heartbeat of this Kansas City side. Given away by Sweat. Now it's Tommy Viader. Looking to use the pace of Douglas Martinez. Graham Zusi, did he take him down? Alan Chapman is waving it off. Mark Briggs with a brief yet blatant contest. And Sacramento able to win it back, but you can already tell right off the bat, Devin, and you and I talked about this pregame, about the pace of Sacramento, and was this Sporting Kansas City line going to be able to deal with it?
Well, you also wonder as to how much they're willing to attack down in as well, because as good as they are, and obviously they found success there, it's a little different when you're staring down Navarro, Shallowy and Johnny Russell, right? And you're looking going, okay, well, if I get this wrong, I'm basically overexposing everything behind me. Yet they haven't backed off yet. They are very direct in nature. What you've seen so far is the confidence by both Viader and Jacker on the outsides. They've cut inside. They've been really good in transition. You got to be careful, though, because we're 10 minutes into the game, and they've already given up 2 glaring mistakes off the back line. That's got to shore itself up. You can't gift opportunities to the talented squad of Sporting Kansas City. You also wonder, why does Johnny Russell try and cut this ball back to his right foot? I mean, everything about him is his left foot. The cut to the inside. The opening goal is sitting there for him. A bit of luck shines out for Sac Republic.
And that was one of the points that Peter Vermees made about his group this year, is that they don't take their opportunities when they're given them. We're talking about league play, of course, while they sit in 14th place in the Western Conference, and giving up some soft goals as of late as well. And already a couple of glaring opportunities that have gone begging. Espinoza. Zusi now. Broken up by Luis Felipe. Espinoza hangs one up into the California sky. Brought down by Keko. And able to rid Voltaire momentarily. Rodrigo Lopez. Trying to pick out Gurra at the far right wingback position, but Ben Sweat with a good recovery and Timely intervention. Well, even with the injury to Alan Polito, you figured that if Daniel Shalvey and Johnny Russell came anywhere close to their production in 2021, that Sporting would be in a much better spot than they are right now. 31 goals and 16 assists between the Hungarian and Johnny Russell last season. It's been anything but that in 2022 in league play. This is certainly where Sacramento can frustrate you. They can be very compact when that three-back turns into a five, and these MLS sides are in clear possession, but Sporting being patient, and it's paying dividends at the moment as the delivery ricochets off of Dan Casey, and it will be out for our first corner of the evening.
There's a little issue within the midfield right now. Keko coming off the front line to help out Roro Lopez, but within that rotation, they're doing a good job as Espinoza drops in. Remy Voltaire, those two little double pivots, they're knocking that off, but then there's this glaring space in between those two and what LaGrossa and Luis Felipe are chasing right now. 7-10 yard gap just dropping down into the pocket. It's allowing anybody to rotate it and then find the ball down into the channels or pick out one of the three on the front line.
Sweat with a teasing delivery, nodded away only as far as Voltaire, takes a deflection. It looked like it came off of Kyrie Shelton. Indeed it did, as Alan Chapman points for a goal kick.
Everybody gets focused in. You're locking in on your runs, Tyler. This early on, that much emotion. Quick out of the chair. This is headed into the bottom corner. Heck of a strike by Voltaire, if not for his own man. When in that situation, you still have to be clued into the fact of what you go through each and every day on the training ground. It's the repetition, right? The short ball, the trickery coming the other direction. Can't clue off in those moments.
Vitiello, the 26-year-old from Massapequa, New York, in between the sticks for Mark Briggs once again. Product of the Albany Great Danes. As Ben Sweat commits the foul over on the far side. And Jack Gurr with that high, never-ending motor causing problems already for the left-hand side of the Sporting Kansas City defense. Desmond with a poor giveaway. Shelton 1v1 now with Connor Donovan. And Desmond able to atone for his sins after another poor giveaway. A couple of times now Sacramento have been caught in possession, but Sporting Kansas City have yet to make them pay.
It's a gift again from the Irishman. You got to give a little bit of credit to the two other center backs dropping back in here. Connor Donovan and Dan Casey just allowing play to slow up. Terrible ball coming back, hospital-like, but watch his hips. He's not allowing the play to come back to the inside. You're dictating where you want this run to come from Kyrie Shelton. That allows Lee Desmond to drop back in, gets a touch on it, and then taken down to the field. That would be easily a second goal for Sporting Kansas City. The decision-making off the back line, the lack of effectivity by the front three, both glaring for these two squads.
Newcomer Eric Tommy, the German, sending Shalvey on his way. A little change of pace, a pirouette as well, maintaining his balance all along the way. But Sacramento sturdy in defense once again. This time it's Connor Donovan getting in the way of the shot, and another corner for Sporting Kansas City.
Haven't really seen enough of Eric Tommy, have we? The way that the game has gone, it's been a little bit more of Espinoza and Voltaire can find a way to get the two on the outside going. Balance lacking for sure. Opportunities certainly not.
It will be Tommy with over 60 Bundesliga appearances to his name, delivering the corner. Johnny Russell on the header, and it just glances wide, and Vitiello not too happy to let Russell with a free header off a corner. Russell with a couple of goals in this U.S. Open Cup run for Sporting Kansas City. He was the catalyst in that comeback against the Houston Dynamo in the quarterfinal when they found themselves down 1-0 at home at halftime. Donovan with some composed defending. Felt like he was bumped from behind, as did Mark Briggs, and now a delayed but deserved whistle from Alan Chapman. Russell slow to get to his feet, and as we mentioned before, he is the straw that stirs the Sporting Kansas City drink. And when we asked Peter Vermees about his captain, the answer was simple: he's William Wallace.
Is that profiling? Is he Scottish? How does that work?
I think it's just accurate.
How does that work? There's a ball.
And it's just going to skip away from Roro Lopez, but he appreciates the effort nonetheless.
Notice the little change, though, and that little tuck in. I talked to you coming into this game about how Villader has become a lot more comfortable coming into the interior. Usually he's on the end of those balls, streaking down into the corner. This side, Roro Lopez rotating out.
Offside flag is going to be up on Douglas Martinez. Making his 5th start in the Open Cup. Just 1 goal, though, against Phoenix Rising in their 2-0 win. Sacramento looking to become first team in 14 years to be a non-MLS side to reach the U.S. Open Cup final. The last team to do it, the Charleston Battery. But Devin, I think it's fair to say, incredibly more difficult now than back in 2008. Obviously, it's all relative, but given the way that these MLS teams are built now with the money and resources that's being pumped into them, the disparity is even greater than it was back in 2008.
This is more difficult. It's not even an argument because, yes, the level was lower for MLS squads back then. But the fact that the amount of growth patterns that we've seen within the two squads, championship has gotten deeper for sure. MLS has taken massive leaps and bounds over that time frame that you just referenced, and you know, to have the ability, you're looking at a guy right now pressuring the ball on Keko.
Good hold-up play from Kyrie Shelton.
You know, La Liga background. That's not something that existed in the USL Championship back then. You know, someone like Roro Lopez, Liga MX.
Helped along, Shelton on the first time, maybe rushed it a bit. And Alan Chapman, recognizing that it was a foul, played the advantage, allowed the chance to unfold. And it's into the hands of Vidiello. LaGrassa. Lee Desmond, the 27-year-old from Dublin.
Sequences are off coming forward, right? You're just watching them. Even when they do compact themselves on the back line, get a bit of possession, as they're moving forward here, everybody's just off a touch. Roro Lopez trying to find the ball. The movement's coming to the front. Douglas Martinez has got to be more active.
Shelton. Long-range effort from Eric Tommy, never troubling Vidiello. One of the 2 new members of Sporting Kansas City within the past week or so. Tommy only got to the United States this past Monday, coming over from Germany, and we asked Peter Vermees sort of what those players have added to this group, and he said it's just given it a new freshness, a new life, but 2 very different personalities between he and Willie Agata, who is on the bench for Sporting tonight in the number 9 position, saying that Tommy, as serious as they come, a true professional, but Willie Agata, on the other hand, who I would venture to say Devin more likely going to see than not, has sort of been in awe in his experience coming to the United States. A kid in a candy shop is sort of how Peter Vermees has said it, as Felipe wins the ball back in a dangerous spot for Sacramento. Lopez thought about it, finding LaGrassa. Now it's Felipe. Zusi goes to ground, did not get a touch, and it'll be a goal kick.
One of the better movements we've seen by Republic coming up through the midfield. I mentioned how Roro Lopez is there roaming. They've really boxed this midfield or a 4, trying to bounce off of each other defensively, provide coverage. But as Luis Felipe steps out here, great defending by Graham Zusi. That's a guy, you combine his appearances with Roger Espinoza's 30 Open Cup appearances between the two. That's more than the entire Sacramento Republic team combined. Ball comes over to the end line, 9 times out of 10, someone's trying to get stuck in, rightly pulls out of it.
Ben Sweat trying to get out of trouble. Cheap giveaway to LaGrasso, who goes to ground. It's a clean challenge, says Alan Chapman. Kyrie Shelton, an absolute handful. Connor Donovan able to win it. And Alan Chapman just having a conversation with LaGrasso, who's gone to ground more or less every challenge he's put in so far. A lot of them have been clean, but I think Chapman's saying that if you're going to catch the opposition on the next one, it's most likely going to be a card, given the reckless nature.
You're 19 minutes in. Briggs hasn't sat down. Peter Vermees hasn't gone off the bench. This is very different than what we saw against LA Galaxy for the championship squad. They were aggressive in nature. They provided themselves a lot of opportunities. They were much cleaner on the ball. There's an efficiency that's lacking right now. That tiki-taka touches you're seeing, that is part of their DNA that's escaped them.
Viader taken down from behind by Johnny Russell. It's right outside the penalty area and well within striking distance for the home side.
I've always loved the quote that Pep Guardiola says. He says, this is a really easy game that we make hard on ourselves, and the opening 20 minutes has been difficult for Republic. Put the ball on the deck. Keep it moving. Challenge the shape of Sporting Kansas City. This is the first time we've seen it. It's a good step up through the midfield. There's the inversion that I talk about from Viader. You're asking Johnny Russell to come 60 yards back after he was just at the opposite end. He gets caught up from behind, takes him down. Dangerous opportunity. You would imagine this is Roro Lopez, but do not sleep on the left foot of Luis Felipe. Both have had wonder strikes to help get this team into the semifinal match.
Well, with the way that Rodrigo Lopez is setting up, it looks like it will be the captain. And what a moment this could be in the 21st. It's Lopez who keeps it low. It gets through the wall and cleared away by Graham Zusi. And for more on Sacramento Republic, let's quickly go down to Jordan Angeli.
Well, Devin, you were just talking about how this team can look a lot of different ways, and that's kind of the communication I'm hearing from the sideline. Danny Dicchio, assistant coach, is emphasizing on goal kicks specifically, that there's a high line for Sporting Kansas City. I'll give it back to you, Tyler.
Lopez, early delivery met by Issy Montmarin. And Sacramento, not for the first time tonight, have committed a lot of numbers forward and room to run for Sporting Kansas City. As Shallowy couldn't quite get around Luis Felipe, who's been on top of his game in the first 22 minutes or so. Zusi looking to go a bit more direct as Connor Donovan able to meet the header. And now Keko providing the pressure. Donovan, who has been dealing with a groin injury up until the past couple of games. Sprang one into the path of the Honduran. Douglas Martinez with a nifty little nutmeg, but couldn't get on the other side of Ben Sweat to win it. Now fending off the former Monarch man, and Sporting win themselves a deep throw-in. For unique stories on the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup that you can't get anywhere else, be sure to follow U.S. Soccer's National Championship on social media at Open Cup on Twitter and Instagram, and at Official Open Cup on Facebook. Sporting finally able to relieve the pressure, and now it's Graham Zusi leading the charge the other way. Out to the skipper, Russell. Here comes the double team. Gets it away for Tommy. Clever little cut back to his right foot. And Sacramento swallowing up the German. Beautiful touch from Martinez. Jack Gurr all by his lonesome over on the right-hand side of the field. Felipe had his pocket picked by Johnny Russell and company. Espinoza trying to thread the needle. And the door is slammed shut by Desmond and Casey. About halfway through this first half of the second semifinal of the 107th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Tyler Terrence, Devin Kerr, and Jordan Angeli on hand here at Heart Health Park. The winner will take on Orlando City in the final, confirmed on September 7th as Rodrigo Lopez sees his first-time ball go out of play, and John Pulskamp will collect it for a goal kick. Dev, are you surprised at all by how the first 25 minutes have gone?
I'm surprised at the lack of decision-making for Sacramento Republic, just because of what we've seen overall throughout their cup run and throughout this season. I already made reference right around the 15-minute mark of what they were able to do against LA Galaxy. They were much cleaner on the ball. The idea is as they started to matriculate to the other end, they had intent behind them. You're not seeing that right now. They're almost picking up the ball and going, okay, now what do I do, right? So resilient in one area, but confused on the other. I'm also a little surprised that we haven't seen more out of the outside backs. They are paying respect to it. Graham Zusi and Ben Sweater sitting back. They're allowing play to develop in front of them. That is the consistency and the safeness that I talked about in the Open, because of their experience, they're just going to keep the game in front of them, right? You can't overcommit in this situation, because that's exactly what San Jose did. That's what LA Galaxy did, and both fates are in the rearview mirror.
Comes the pressure from Gurr, stays in play, and now it's Keko. Ridge Ben Sweat looking for an avenue, goes for goal, and it's just wide. You can see what he was trying to pull off with the curler. Magnificent pressure and decision-making from Keko and Gurr over on that right-hand side. And the Sacramento Republic faithful loving every minute of it.
Everybody looking at the runners around them, and they forget about the ball carrier. Watch him pull this thing up here. You've got Roro Lopez, Luis Felipe tracking, and Ben Sweat, too much respect. We just talked about the space that they're giving the wings. If it's Martinez, Roro, Keko, you still got to give yourself the opportunity to defend 1v1. Terrible mistake. You can't get caught close-minded in this situation. Hips are flat, give up spot on the inside.
Keko, a part of the Atletico Madrid Academy B and senior squads. Has some experience in the first division of Italy as well. Viader, heavy second touch.
One of the biggest differences we see out of Sporting Kansas City this year, with the injuries, of course, Gadi Kinda, and you start to move it with Alan Polito. The comfortability within the final third is there's not a lot of interchangeability within the midfield. It's very traditional. Tommy on the left, Espinoza on the right. Make the same argument if it's Felipe Hernandez within there. We talked about Voltaire dropping down into the 6. Larry Rosell comes in. It's very traditional, much easier to track than we've seen in previous seasons.
Lagrasso. Keko Jack Kerr and acres of space. Now it's a matter of delivery. Martinez at the near post. Sacramento claiming there was a deflection. Alan Chapman with thoughts of his own, pointing for a goal kick. Douglas Martinez wagging his finger furiously. But another shout from the home side as they pick apart Sporting Kansas City with just a few passes.
It's a heck of a run by Douglas Martinez. Watch him drag the center back to the backside. You see right in. Good closure here, though. He gets pulled initially to the back post run. The break by Douglas Martinez. Oh, it's very close. The AR on the far side had the flag down into the corner, asking for help from the referee. The referee makes the decision on his own.
And this is the type of aggression that Peter Vermes knew that Sacramento was capable of. Devin, we see it in spurts from Mark Briggs' side. They can sit in deep. Use the word chameleonic nature. And we're getting the aggressive part of that at the moment as Keko went to ground. Sporting are saying, how on earth is that not a foul? And Sacramento want to go quickly the other way. But Felipe took a bit too long on the ball, had his pocket picked by Shelton. Now it's Johnny Russell finding Shelton. Squared across and good defending from Connor Donovan. And it'll be a corner for Sporting, and now Alan Chapman's going to get an earful.
That's the ball down into the corner. Not too bad, little peel off. Smart by Kyrie Shelton, holds the run to the outside. He's got runners coming back through, good defending. That heads up play. They got to pick up the tempo here, Sporting. It's just not fast enough. I mean, you would say for both squads, to be fair, but Republic have responded. Sporting's just kind of going through the motions right now. It's not quick enough.
An in-swinger from Voltaire. Something for the training ground. Tommy. Denied by Lopez. Zusi, still time to deliver. And it's going to be a handball on Keko. And a set-piece opportunity now for Sporting. Now, Devin, you mentioned the slow nature of Sporting going forward, especially on the counterattack. Peter Vermes didn't exactly rotate his players the way that Mark Briggs did over the weekend. And that was a really intense, emotionally and physically taxing game against LAFC. Is that playing a role right now?
I would say yes, it does, because you look at guys that are on the pitch right now. Kyrie Shelton, 84 minutes. Shallowy, 84 minutes. Johnny Russell went 90. Remy Voltaire went 90. These are all guys that in order to find a victory and get results, they are the ones that you look to regularly. It's a bit sluggish, but the mental fatigue, you finish the game, you're on the road, the travel, the hostile environment. So it's much more than just what we saw on the weekend in domestic play.
Zusi. Offside flag is up.
You and I have had extensive discussions about the looks of teams over the course of the season, how things have changed. Once we got into this matchup, dug into Sporting Kansas City, Ndembe, Pierre, Duke, whoever's playing at outside back, very aggressive, getting involved in the attack. So even though we can talk about repetition because of the weekend game, the travel, the short play, it's also a little change from what we've seen over the course of the season. Now, they haven't found success in that nature, but it has been what they've gone to regularly. Now you've backed off a little bit. Now you're getting good combination play out of the front three, which is the most important. But can you find a way at a certain point in time, as Peter Vermes likes to say, to grab one of your jokers out and press into the right spot?
Ben Sweat being encouraged to get forward. Somehow maintains possession. Johnny Russell. Zusi. Players inside of midfield for Sporting Kansas City. A deep, low block from Mark Briggs' Sacramento Republic. Zusi finds his way around Keko. The veteran with a bit of magic. Tommy senses the pressure. And Russell was about to have an opportunity there, if not for an outstretched foot from Lee Desmond. Russell. Espinoza. Methodical and pragmatic from Peter Vermes' side now. And the commentator's curse in full effect as Rodrigo Lopez couldn't quite clear his lines. Tommy. Circling back around. Ball glued to the German's foot. About a dozen minutes till halftime. Still no score, but a couple of half opportunities and full chances for both sides. Sweat. It's Shallowy, and it's denied by Donovan. And out for a Sporting corner.
Just lost in translation between the two. It's an overcommittal by Jacker on the outside. Roro Lopez had come out to help. But as he vacates so much space in behind. Dan Casey not quick enough to rotate over and cover that ball down into the channel. And that's much smarter from Sporting Kansas City. Lorem stepping behind, would still like to be faster. The rapidity of play is everything right now for Peter Vermes' boys.
Tommy close to Vitiello, punched away. Sweat finds Voltaire. Was attempting to line it up. Back for Sweat. Why not? A deflection. Kept in play wisely by Vitiello. And Douglas Martinez was making a bold run over on the far side, and it would have taken quite the ping for Vitiello to be able to find him. Let's check in with Jordan Angeli.
You guys were talking about how different it is here on the sidewide. Mark Briggs has been telling his team, especially in transition moments, to keep the ball. However, those have been the most difficult moments for them if they give the ball and turn it over. Sporting Kansas City had a handful of opportunities early in this match. Makes me think of what Peter Vermes told us yesterday, that a little disappointed in the last couple of matches that they haven't capitalized on early chances. As he sits calm and cool on his bench, you wonder if he's thinking about those opportunities that have gone to the wayside here early in this match.
Meanwhile, a massive collision between Sweat and Gurr. And it looks like it will be a yellow card for Sweat. Douglas Martinez a bit shaken up on the play as well, as there were multiple fouls that could have been called, but Chapman addressing the prior. And Ben Sweat will be our first booking of the evening.
I'm just glad to see him up quick, because I almost wondered if this hit his head. As quickly as this came back up through right there, watch him fall right down. I thought he hit his head on the turf. Good thing he didn't. Gurr takes a heck of a challenge. Sweat late in the recognition, coming back up through. She's spot on, though. Right? It's clean coming off the back line for Sacramento Republic in order to be more efficient. And for Sporting Kansas City, the decisions. How about Ben Sweat trying to rile up some of the locals just in front of him? How's your aim? I'll take a little bit of it.
Well, you and I were talking about the decision of the two outside backs, the two veterans, Ben Sweat 30, Graham Zusi 35. Sweat, no stranger to hostile environments like this. The same goes for Zusi. And Sweat, let's say, maybe a bit more gregarious in this type of situation than Graham Zusi might be. Viader. Dan Casey getting forward from the right center back position. Gurr holds his run. Bit of a cumbersome first touch and cleaned up by Fontas, but it will stay with the Quails. Poor restart from Sacramento, but able to keep the ball after Sporting Kansas City couldn't quite capitalize on the turnover. Spaniard Keko. Beautiful sweeping ball out for Gurr. Delivery in. Lopez was there. LaGrassa. Back for Gurr again. He's enjoying prime real estate over on the right wing. Lopez with an ostentatious back heel. Martinez bumped off the ball. It'll stay with Keko. Gurr back in. Viadair waiting at the back post. And Russell doing all that he can just to prevent the corner. Let's see what the call is going to be from Alan Chapman. Looks like a discussion between Fontas and Issy Montmarin, as well as Douglas Martinez. Lopez, a little bit of a pick there from Douglas Martinez. And Gurr couldn't quite time the header at the back post, and now Ben Sweat needs to be careful here as Sacramento coming with a bit of a repress in the form of Luis Felipe. No call. Felipe going for goal. It takes a deflection, and it's Keko once more. Digs it towards the back post. It's Viadair who scuffs it. And it's going to be a foul coming out the other way. A dizzying amount of action in the Sporting Kansas City penalty area. And it results in a free kick for the away side.
One of the issues you run into in these games, Tyler, is because the tension and emotion is so high, it does cloud your judgment at times. They should have had a much better opportunity to challenge John Polskamp in this situation. Great recovery here, though, by Keko to get it to the backside. When Roro Lopez misses this, tons of bodies in front of it. Martinez doesn't have to get stuck in. You don't have to take it off the volley if you're Jack Gurr. There's too much space in front of them for their opportunities not to be progressing in a much better nature for Republic, especially from some of the overcommittal that's being exhibited by Sporting Kansas City on the back line.
About 5 minutes remaining in this first half. All the feel of a semifinal. Shallowy, couple of step overs. Vitiello with the save. Had to parry it away and be smart as he didn't see it until late. And another corner for Sporting Kansas City.
Really make the argument for Peter Vermees in this attacking unit. We've seen a decent amount out of Johnny Russell. Love the movement we've seen from Kyrie Shelton coming to the near side to help them out, but Shallowy sort of faded away. Got to give some credit here to Jack Gurr, Dan Casey on that far right side, but the balance has started to drift away from that left flank. Ben Sweat has become more active defensively. Got to find a way to maintain a presence on the other end.
Outswinger from Eric Tommy. And a free kick coming out the other way. Well, Devin, we talked about how these are two of the worst attacking sides in their respective leagues.
Appreciate you bringing that up.
I'm sure Peter Vermees and Mark Briggs do as well. But the fact still remains, and we're seeing some of that inability to capitalize on opportunities from both of these sides.
There's 13 shots within this game. Only 2 have hit the target. I mean, the conversion rate right there is glaring, and it tells you their struggles and what they've not been able to do within MLS and USL Championship decision-making. Just go back to your morals and values. Everything that has given you the opportunity to get to this point. You would think it's simple, right? One foot in front of the other, but it is all the white noise around you. It's the fans. I mentioned the emotion before. That does affect your decision-making. You get pinned in if you're Republic and feel like, well, this is going to be my only chance, and you overextend yourself.
Tommy, not a ton of options. Chooses Shallowy. Just hooks one in. Goes past Johnny Russell. And it'll go out for a Sporting Kansas City throw-in.
Same argument for Sporting, though. Right, the seed of doubt has officially been planted. You're approaching the midway point of this game. No goals. 2 shots on goal. Haven't really seen a ton from Shallowy. Certainly haven't seen enough from Eric Tommy. Now, it's also the way some of the game is being dictated to them. I just mentioned some of the decision-making on the opposite end, the mistakes that have been given up by Sacramento Republic. There's no reason that you could have taken advantage, or at least not at this point in time.
But even with all the attacking woes that both of these teams experience, both have a feel of a team of destiny. However, only one will square up against Orlando City come September 7th on the final right here on ESPN+. Ben Sweat back for Shallowy. Beautiful defending from Connor Donovan, and he wants to send Douglas Martinez on his way on the counter. 1v2 going the other way, and Remy Voltaire outstanding in that situation. Coming up at halftime, stick around. You're not going to want to miss the recap of the semifinal earlier today between Orlando City and Red Bulls. Spoiler alert, the Lions did win 5 unanswered goals after the Red Bulls took a 1-0 lead. And of course, we'll have you covered first half highlights from this game if you, for some odd reason, are just tuning in. But we don't blame the East Coasters at this point. Right now, 1 minute of stoppage time unconfirmed as Ben Sweat with a heavy first touch, but he continues to get more involved in the attack. Thumped away by Casey. Susi misjudged it. Seven newcomers in this starting 11 for Mark Briggs tonight, all in their first season with Sacramento Republic. And Peter Vermees said, full credit to Mark Briggs and what he has been able to do with this side, given all the new pieces that he's had to have gelled together. But if you were an alien of a different planet, Devin, dropped on this earth and you didn't know something about the sport of football, you'd have no idea that a lot of these guys had never played together until this season. They are an incredibly cohesive and collective unit, particularly in the defense.
It's really difficult to build this type of camaraderie, right? Whether it's in USL Championship play, if it's in MLS, if it's in Open Cup.
Here's Tommy driving forward. Plenty of space. Lets it rip. Vitiello parries it away. Sacramento not out of trouble until the clearance from Villader. And we indeed will have 1 minute of stoppage time, and Eric Tommy starting to put his German stamp on this one.
Can you get it from Roger Espinoza now, too? We asked more from Eric Tommy. Look at his head. Every single time since we've seen him, and I understand that the sample size is very small, head up, forward thinking, looking for the next step. We mentioned in the open, Tyler, that's what this team has been lacking. They've been lacking it within the game as well. And even though he has been the benefactor of some of the balls played into him, he hasn't really had a ton of movement around him. Neither from Espinoza either. Espinoza has nine completed passes in this game, only 3 of which had started to move in an advancing role. Everything has been back, right onto the back line, into Remy Voltaire, into Graham Zusi. It's troublesome. You know, you and I talked at length about what this squad would be coming in. We tried to pick it. I got it wrong, of course,
obviously,
which is why I'm sitting here in the analyst chair. But you're starting to see some of it play out. I told you, I thought they went safe on the back line. There's a consistency up front. There's an aggressive nature within Eric Tommy. We've really only seen that one argument. That's going to be the conversation for Peter Vermees at halftime.
Well, there is the halftime whistle from Alan Chapman. Rodrigo Lopez and Sacramento have certainly had their fair share of chances. John Poolskamp not exactly tested. Vitiello's had to be involved in the mix as of late, as Jack Gurr has enjoyed some prime real estate over on the right-hand side. But for now, let's toss it down to Jordan Angeli, who's standing by with the head coach of Sacramento Republic, Mark Briggs.
Coach, first half, you guys sustained a little bit of pressure, but what have you liked about your team's performance here?
Yeah, I think the intensity has been very good. The recognition of moments to press has been very good. We just have to be better with the ball. We have more time than we think, and we're being very sloppy in possession at the moment. So we've got to take a little more care in possession of the ball.
Who are you looking to be better on the ball, or where are the opportunities you feel like you can exploit here?
As a collective, I think we've got to be a little bit better, a little more composed in retaining the ball, and find the pockets between their lines a little bit better.
Thank you so much. Good luck in the second half.
Already a hoarse voice from Mark Briggs, who is trying to will his side into an Open Cup final, a second division side no less, but their MLS opponents have been knocking on the door. Chances for both sides. We're headed to the big break here in Sacramento. Stay with us.
Very superstitious, writings on the wall. When you believe in this, but you don't understand that you're superstition ain't the way.
Our journey at Continental has taken us down many roads. And when we first started, they weren't even paved. For more than 150 years, we've worked hard to earn your trust. From the trail to the racetrack and beyond. The Continental Mark in all its forms stands for confidence. Confidence you trust. Continental Tire.
Raise those hands. Let everybody know you went deep.
Cubs, Giants. The summer is heating up on Sunday Night Baseball.
You never know what awaits on the world's grandest stage. Because here, the greatest city and the greatest fans feel the greatest performances you'll ever see.
Lots of celebs in the house.
And the show-stopping action isn't confined to the court. So be more than a witness to the spectacular. Because here, you can be a part of it.
How's that for an ending?
MLS is on ABC. Minnesota United versus Portland Timbers. Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC.
Nil in the second semifinal, and the winner will be able to take on Orlando City on September 7th. And having us covered on that front for the earlier semifinal is none other than Mike Watts and Jamie Watson.
A night to remember for Orlando City. 2 years without the Open Cup. 2 years to marinate on a semifinal loss. Orlando wins it over New York 5-1. Welcome to Exploria Stadium, everybody, with Jamie Watson, Mike Watts, to wrap this one up. And I got to tell you, Jamie, we came into this with that initial quote from Gerhard Struber. We analyzed this a lot, and it makes no sense to lose in the half final. Well, Orlando took it to heart.
Yeah, and coming into the match, they had 9 wins on the road across all competitions, so they were a good value for their money coming into the match. And through the first 45 minutes, well, they didn't concede to Orlando City. And in the first minute of stoppage time, Lewis Morgan gets on the end of this cross from Kamala, who hit the post twice in the first half, and they thought they were going into halftime with the 1-0 lead. But it's the Open Cup. It's Orlando City. There's always going to be drama. And in the 4th minute of stoppage time, Araujo, his first professional goal, makes it 1-1. And then right out of the halftime whistle, the captain gets on the end of this service from Matinho. Pereira calmly slots it in. And just like that, 2 minutes into the second half, it's 2-1 Orlando City.
A driving rain throughout the second half, and it started raining goals. Michel keeps this alive. It's that man again!
Makes it 3-1. His second goal, a brace for the Uruguayan. And then a moment of controversy. The offside flag goes up. Victor Rivas, our official, waves it off. Fernando Torres finishes it expertly to the back post. No VAR today. That goal makes it 4-1. And then in the dying moments of this match, Benji Michel, off of both posts, sends Exploria Stadium into raptures, and it just feels once again like it used to in Orlando City.
Araujo a brace, Facundo Torres, Mauricio Pereira, and Benji Michel score as well. They'll be hosting the Open Cup final on September 7th. So long from Orlando.
We play for the love of the game, but after years of sacrifice, love only gets you so far. That's why UKG and the National Women's Soccer League are offering an equitable purse at the 2023 UKG NWSL Challenge Cup.
Baby, it's over.
I mean, we both saw this coming.
Sorry.
What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours.
Welcome to Subway's biggest refresh yet. They're drafting 12 new subs for their all-new Subway Series menu. This is exciting, Tony.
Oh, you've never seen stats like this before, Chuck. The new Monster has juicy steak and crispy bacon.
Dang, but what about the new Boss? Meatballs covered in marinara, coupled with fresh mozzarella. It looks so good. It makes me hangry.
Did you say hangry?
And pepperoni, too.
Pepperoni? Now I'm hangry.
The new Subway Series. What's your pick?
With Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more.
Yeah, just like that breakfast burrito.
There isn't too much hot sauce, is there? I have a sensitive palate.
I actually like hot sauce.
How about guacamole?
I don't really know what we're talking about anymore.
Burritos.
Insurance.
Geico. Hitting the road? Not all 5G networks are created equal. T-Mobile covers more highway miles with 5G than Verizon. T-Mobile has more 5G bars in more places than anyone. Another reason T-Mobile is the leader in 5G.
Our journey at Continental has taken us down many roads. And when we first started, they weren't even paved. For more than 150 years, we've worked hard to earn your trust. From the trail to the racetrack and beyond. The Continental mark in all its forms stands for confidence. Confidence you trust. Continental Tire.
Bodies that look like this also move like this. Rise like this.
Flex like this. And this, and this.
In life, you have acquaintances and very few friends.
I have issues trusting people from the get-go. I think early on I was in that circle of trust.
ESPN Films presents The Captain, Episode 3 and 4, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN+.
We play for the love of the game, but after years of sacrifice, love only gets you so far. That's why UKG and the National Women's Soccer League are offering an equitable purse at the 2023 UKG NWSL Challenge Cup.
Baby, it's over.
I mean, we both saw this coming.
Outstanding production crew took a drive over to the riverfront and headed over to Willie's Burgers, but they are known for their beignets, and boy, were they delicious. Had to take a little nap after it before the game today, but awesome stuff from our crew, who's been outstanding throughout this week, getting set for what has been a tremendous first half of this second U.S. Open Cup semifinal. Tyler Terrence, Devin Kerr. Dev, from the opening moments, this game was frantic. It was open. There was a lot of mistakes, but we just haven't seen any goals yet.
It took about 20 minutes for the wingbacks to be more efficient in their ways coming forward from Sacramento Republic. Uncharacteristic mistake by Ben Sweat, getting his hips closed off, allows Keko to cut back to the inside. But the response immediately from Sporting Kansas City. They have been the better team in terms of the fact that they've provided themselves more opportunities, but you just hit the nail on the head. The lack of effectivity and decision-making has been glaring. Half chances, deflections, the inability to combine from that guy right there. Eric Tommy has done a good job coming forward. Tyree Shelton has been involved. We've seen plenty out of Johnny Russell, but where is Shallowy? Where's Roger Espinoza? As they start to move forward, they started to make themselves more susceptible to the counter at the outside, and that's where Republic gets you. They have been better coming off the back line. Jack Gurr, Viadere, the cut back to the inside. If they can slow their decision-making process down against Sporting Kansas City in the final third, they could have had a response to all the chances that were Sporting Kansas City on one end. They could be up 1-0. Instead, zeros after 45.
And that was the sentiment from Mark Briggs when he spoke with Jordan Angeli at halftime, thinking that they have less time on the ball than they actually do, wanting them to be sharper. Devin, still no shots on target, not challenging John Pulskamp whatsoever. Sacramento Republic, meanwhile, Vitiello had to make a few saves towards the end of the first half.
Take this for what it is, because statistics don't always resonate within managers, but a stat that you're not seeing is the XG. Expected goals is something that's very interesting to me because it comes with the eye test too. The quality of opportunity. Better for Sacramento Republic. They're at 0.58, which certainly isn't great, but when you look at 10 shots with 3 on target for Sporting Kansas City, they're almost 2 tenths behind at 0.3. It's got to be better when they start to move forward.
The California State Fair, the backdrop, Heart Health Park is the main event. It's halftime here between Sacramento and Sporting Kansas City.
We play for the love of the game, but after years of sacrifice, love only gets you so far. That's why UKG and the National Women's Soccer League are offering an equitable purse at the 2023 UKG NWSL Challenge Cup.
We've been sharing the love for 50 years, and with Popeye's Two Can Dine, you can too. Get 5 pieces of our crispy, juicy, tender signature chicken, 2 sides, and 2 biscuits for just $11.99. Dinner for 2 just became easy. Pick it up today at Popeye's.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Baby, it's over.
I mean, we both saw this coming.
Sorry.
What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours.
So, it's Friday night dinner. All of a sudden, boom. And you, Gecko, go, bundling your home and car insurance could save you hundreds. Then the neighbors are like, huh? The little girl's like, hi, Gecko. Huh?
Quite the commercial.
I know, right?
Geico. Choosing T-Mobile is like paying for this, but getting that. And with our new Price Lock Guarantee, you won't need to worry about price hikes, because unlike AT&T, we won't raise the price of your rate plan. Another way customers get more at T-Mobile.
She has curly hair like mine.
Health Park. I'm standing by with head coach Peter Vermees for Sporting Kansas City. Peter, you just come out of halftime. What's the number one takeaway you want your team to have coming out of that break?
Yeah, we just have to be a little more deadly in and around the box. We got the killer instinct because we've created quite a few chances. We just haven't finished it off. We just need to make sure that we're there for that.
This is difficult when a team sits back in a low block. How do you manage to find space in those types of situations?
I actually think we've been really patient in our possession, and we've moved the ball really well from side to side to try to draw them out. It's just that we found some opportunities where we caught them, and we have to punish them in those moments.
Thank you so much, Peter. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it from Peter Vermees, who, as you saw, 4-time winner of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup as both a player and a coach, and that was the sentiment yesterday before the game even started. They have to be more deadly in the attacking third, as both teams have all to play for as we get the second half underway. Again, Alan Chapman is our referee. Tyler Terrence, Devin Kerr up in the booth, Jordan Angeli down on the sideline, and boy, should this second half be a good one. The winner of this match will take on Orlando City at Exploria September 7th. And we actually just got a surprise celebrity visit from the owner of Sacramento Republic, Kevin Nagel, up in the broadcast booth. And rather than coming up and asking us what we thought of the game, Devin, he came up and gave us a pretty cohesive, well thought out, and well executed summarization of the first half.
That was your takeaway. I started to get a little bit nervous. He was going to steal the mic and take my job. I said, listen, you can sit here. I'm happy to take over ownership of the group. But he's done a fantastic job over the course of his tenure taking the reins for Sacramento Republic, and what a run it's been for them. What a cool thought by him, though. Not very often you get the owner of a team come up here and say, well, this was good, this was bad. Literally broke the entire first half down. It was great.
Sharp here from Sporting to start the second half, but big intervention from Dan Casey. Issy Montmarine. Ramsuzzi sends one over the top, and Vitiello will be able to collect. Devin, we heard from Mark Briggs that he wanted his side to be a little bit more patient and realize that they have a little bit more time. Peter Vermees wants his side to be a little bit more deadly. Anything that you would add to that maybe they're not leading on to?
No, they pretty much hit the nail on the head. There's a methodical nature that usually resides within Sacramento Republic. Haven't seen it, right? They're rushing the decisions. It is frantic. The good news is they have those decisions to make. They certainly aren't pinned back as much as they were against LA Galaxy. Now, something that you have to take away from that comment is the fact that they stuck one in the back of the net 10 minutes into the game. So when you are the benefactor of having the lead, you can sit, you can compress yourselves and hold a bit more pressure. They have to be aggressive here, and the opportunities are coming. I'm still looking within the midfield right now because Eric Tommy playing a high line. He's got a more advanced role right now than we're seeing of Shallowy. Shallowy doesn't have to track this much. Keko's going into the inside a lot. It's leaving Ben Sweat one-on-one on the runs coming from Jack Kerr. He doesn't need to come help, and yet every single time he's coming deeper, coming more into the interior. Lack of presence on this left-hand flank. That's very uncharacteristic for this front three for Sporting Kansas City.
Voltaire just got a little nibble from behind by Rodrigo Lopez. Fontas. And LaGrassa a little bit late on the challenge on Eric Tommy. Sporting Kansas City wanting retribution. There's only one yellow card that's been issued by Alan Chapman thus far tonight, and that belongs to Ben Sweat.
He's so quick to pull the trigger on this. Look at his head, just over the left shoulder. Always moving forward, always challenging the space. And that was one of the main issues for the team in totality in the first half. Certainly not the case for Eric Tommy. What an addition he's been. First guy that Vermees talked about and what they had been missing due to injuries. The glimpse that he gives you, the extension that he provides. Can't do it alone though.
Sporting Kansas City have won 4 U.S. Open Cups in their franchise's history. Every final they've got to, they have won. Launched over the top for Shelton, pushing down for Shallowy, the Hungarian, hungry for the opener. Stabbed away, but it'll stay with Sporting Kansas City as they'll apply some more pressure. Keko with a timely intervention. Calm head by Lee Desmond. Now Luis Felipe will switch the point of the attack in the form of Jack Kerr. Native of Newcastle, England, 26 years of age, will push it along for Douglas Martinez. Beautiful football, but interrupted in pretty abrupt fashion by Andreu Fontas. Espinoza finding Russell on that right-hand side. You know exactly where he wants to go, but he'll go to the right foot towards the byline. Squares it across, and Connor Donovan, like he's done all night and all season for Sacramento, stabs it away in the first corner of the second half in favor of the visitors.
Tyler, you sit in the film room and you break down Johnny Russell. You know where he's going. It's going to be over the left foot, whether he cuts inside or tries to get all the way down to the byline. It's almost impossible to defend. You step in through it, good recovery again on the inside, but as he crosses you back over here, there's got to be a continuation there if you're Lee Desmond. Put the shoulder on the shoulder, allow that physical presence to regain the composure that you had just lost in the one-on-one matchup.
Another outswinger, met by Douglas Martinez at the near post. What a proper atmosphere this is here at Hart Health Park. Every single moment is a massive one because the Sacramento Republic faithful know that any half chance or even quarter chance that Sporting Kansas City have that their side can thwart gets them that much closer to perhaps being able to go the other way. Keko wisely goes down as Voltaire was nipping at his heels. Keko gets whistled for the foul. A little bit too handsy, trying to get on the better side of Altair as the Spaniard and Frenchman go tete-a-tete. And obviously, this isn't a scene that you would typically see at a Major League Soccer venue with a California State Fair going on in the backdrop. The Gravitron looks like it's going to hit the north side of the Tower Bridge Battalion. But it's been a lot of fun, and it is perfectly imperfect and perfectly the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup with a second division side in this type of environment, hosting a top-tier side for a chance to go to the final.
I love the Gravitron. You seem more like a Ferris wheel type of guy, though. Slow it down, right? That's your pace?
Like more of an intense teacups kind of guy, too.
Oh,
yeah.
But you got to be able to spin it on your own.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I need to be in full control of the madness. Keko. Ben Sweat defending. Crafty from the Spaniard, but the delivery or shot, whichever it was, wasn't nearly good enough.
Same story, different day out on the break. A lack of commitment into what you want to do next. Keko, head up. He's got Roro Lopez on the back post. Dami Villader was coming back into. Instead, you close down your options. You cut it back on the left foot. You get it off the favored direction that you want to go. That's really been the story of play tonight for Republic.
Zusi, really positive first touch and creates a 2v1 with Johnny Russell. Goes back for Zusi, squares it across, the shot denied in front. And Sacramento doing what they do best in defending in front of Vidiello. Chance is not gone. Sweat. Looping ball. Zusi was lining it up, and Rodrigo Lopez is the first to it. Finds himself in a bit of hot water, and Graham Zusi lowers the boom on Lopez right in front of the assistant referee, and it will be a free kick.
Yeah, cleaning up the trash here at Sacramento Republic, just digging in. Look at all the black shirts, but the understanding of where the recovery has to come from. They get a bit of luck, to be honest, off the touch by Matt LaGrassa. Look at the back post run, wide open. Same thing. Can't put one foot in front of the other. Step on this thing, allow the rotation to continue. Take the more efficient opportunity. This is film study on a Monday morning that you never want to be involved in. Manager just rips you one after another.
Are you speaking from experience?
Absolutely. Head of the class. So someone's got to provide the proper example of what not to do, right? Otherwise, other guys don't know how to succeed.
Rodrigo Lopez, 35-year-old from Guadalajara, the heartbeat of this Sacramento side. Came up to the Chivas Academy and then eventually headed to Chivas USA. Spent some time in Portland and Orlando City in the USL before they made their way to MLS, and then Sacramento from 2014 to 15. He is sort of a makeshift hometown hero for these Quail fans. Shallowy lost his footing. Not the best we've seen from Vidiello, and probably had a couple options to keep the ball on the deck and keep possession. Shelton from a long way out. It did take a deflection, and comfortable enough for Vidiello. And the Sacramento Republic side certainly enjoys playing in Heart Health Park. Poppy Murphy's Park, obviously the previous edition. Won their last 11 straight U.S. Open Cup matches on their home patch.
15-1 all time. You use the word indomitable, of course, that resonates throughout the club, part of their motto. determination. Doesn't matter who you are, the way that you play. We're going to find a way to be better.
Keko tried the return on the 1-2. Maybe a bit too obvious and telegraphed it. Nasty challenge from Luis Felipe, and that's going to warrant a card. Felipe, the 26-year-old from Mineola, New York, goes into the books.
They struggled with this rotation in the first half, the way that they dropped Keko down in. Basically played with 2 10s and 2 6s. No one was stepping into the gap within the midfield. And this time Roger Espinoza recognizes it. He comes down in, late on the understanding from Luis Felipe. It's certainly been better defensively throughout the game itself outside of the opening 20 minutes, which was a mad scramble for the home squad.
Felipe, despite his defensive nature and prowess, has registered 3 straight game winners in the U.S. Open Cup against Phoenix, Los Angeles Galaxy, and San Jose Earthquakes.
Surprised we haven't seen them play more into Voltaire's feet down in the 6. And it's a good job by Keko and Douglas Martinez to cut that ball off. Fair play to Sporting, though. Just mentioned how they've been able to jump right back through. A little bit more direct at times. This guy's got to get going, though.
Challenge from Jack Gurr. He felt like it was a clean one. As Shallowy had beaten him to the punch, and the ball over the top was picture perfect, and now a makeshift corner for Sporting Kansas City. Not much protest on the side of Mark Briggs.
He was slow here. He didn't leave his feet. He definitely gets a bit of the ball, but how much of the outside ankle does he get coming back over? That's the foot. A bit more clear, slowed down for you right there. Good little touch by Shallowy to move it away from the defender, coming back across.
Well, it looks like we are going to see our first substitution of the evening in just a bit, as Willie Agata is going to make his U.S. Open Cup debut. The Nigerian who came over from the Israeli Premier League just about a week ago, arrived in the United States. Got several minutes against LAFC, got some decent touches in and a shot on goal against the club from the City of Angels. And for more on that, let's head down to Jordan Angeli.
A lot of communication here on the Sporting Kansas City bench. An emphasis of going towards gold when William Agata got his first few minutes in MLS play over the weekend against LAFC. He had a snap header that was different than what Sporting Kansas City has seen. So with the amount of service that they have, this adds a different element to what Sporting Kansas City can do on situations like this from a set piece or from crosses.
So Agata will come onto the scene. Typical of Peter Vermees to keep an ace in the hole, and he feels like his Nigerian might just be able to change this game, as Kyrie Shelton has given an hour of hard work. And here comes Willie Agata, perhaps going to write another chapter of what's been a magical U.S. Open Cup run amidst a, quite honestly, abysmal Major League Soccer season. Tommy towards the back post. Vitiello grabs it. Good feet from Keko. Now Gurr recognizing the space. Turning Fontas. Felipe helps it along. Villader. Towards the back post. It's Keko. It's a great chance and parried away by Poolskamp. First test of the night for Poolskamp. He answers the call emphatically. And a corner coming up for Sacramento.
Heck of a rotation here. Coming forth by Sacramento Republic, but as the ball pops out, let's be frank, John Poolskamp got lit up on the weekend. He had troubles against LAFC. First time his confidence is tested. That's the save of the night. In transition, plenty of open space. Pitch a tent, have a cup of tea if you're Keko. To get this on frame and make a save by Poolskamp, magnificent.
Kecko again. It sneaks all the way through, and Douglas Martinez was inches away from getting a touch to it. Shouts of a corner from Matt LaGrassa fall on deaf ears. And John Pulskamp, for the moment, has Sporting Kansas City coming away unscathed.
Now you slow it down. If you're Sporting, slow it down a little bit here. Get on the ball. Calm the nerves. Couple open play chances for the home squad. Haven't necessarily responded in good nature on the other side. You've made a substitution. And the front three that I keep going back to, Johnny Russell is faded from this game too. 30 minutes into the game, very active, and instead he's tracking back a lot more. Deep on the far side. How's your aim from 12 yards out? Well, it's pretty stupendous. The problem is John Pulskamp reads it the entire way. He knows it's going to be on the right foot. The way that you close yourself off if you're Kecko, and you can't blame him because you're going for bottom corner power with a little bit of precision behind. It's well spotted by the striker, but outdone by the goalkeeper.
Now here's Shallowy. Jacker in defense. Ben Sweat hooks it in. Vidiello off of his line. It should be a foul on Agata. No call from Alan Chapman. Sweat rolling up for the fullback position, wins it back for Sporting. Shallowy, industrious play, going for goal, but blocked by Casey and company. This is more like it. Full throttle in a semifinal with a spot in the 107th Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup final on the line. Fontas just dinking it in. Vidiello again, commanding his penalty area with grit and gusto. Tommy and Agata both asking for it. The German will bring it down, and it's going to be offside.
Sacramento's got to be really careful here. I mentioned to you that I thought we'd see more out of Remy Voltaire. We are, and the reason being is Roro Lopez's rotation out of the midfield spot. They've really moved into a front three. You've bumped Tommy Aviadere up. They flatten out the midfield. You've basically got Luis Felipe and Roro Lopez, Jacker all the way right across the middle. So in that flattened out nature, you've got to ask someone on that front line, whether it be Kecko or Roro Lopez, to drop down in. Opening portion of this game, really the 60-minute mark, they had eliminated the ball that immediately was played into the six. That's not the case anymore. It's opening up opportunities, and Voltaire doing a good job of going from A to B to C in a much more rapid fashion.
Kecko, his influence on this game becoming much more apparent, but gives it away in that instance. And now here's Agata. Russell being tracked down by Viadere, and that's a foul, and one that Viadere certainly will take in that moment. Tactical, to say the least.
Coming in, this was one of the targeted matchups that we addressed. Tommy Viadere and Johnny Russell. Just said that Russell had faded from the game a little bit due to his restricted nature on the defensive side. Drop back in. That's just a dumb foul. That's a young man who's made a poor decision to put his team in a bad spot coming over from League One. You know, could he be consistent enough to not venture out of his comfort zone, stay home a bit more? The answer has been yes. Opportunities like that late in the game can cost you. Gets a little bit lucky.
Started with the Barton Cougars and then made his way to the Iowa Western Reveres, and eventually to the Owls of Union Omaha, now finding himself in a U.S. Open Cup semifinal. The pathway that everybody has predicted for any professional in this sport in this country.
Of course it's well-traveled, right?
Looks like a couple of substitutions are getting ready for Mark Briggs. Those will be his first two changes of the evening. Looks like it'll be Ross and Malik Foster trying to inject some life and new blood into this game before the 70th minute. Vitiello wanted to come and collect, but Connor Donovan wanted to be sure. A little bit too direct towards Douglas Martinez, and Sporting will go again. Espinoza. 30-year-old Ben Sweat. Nodded away. Tommy wanted to get the shot off. Terrific defending from Felipe. Now it's Zusi. And his shot sails wide. And now those aforementioned substitutions. So it will be Malik Foster coming on and replacing Keko. Foster, a 25-year-old from Jamaica, in his second season with Sacramento. Started with Portmore United in Jamaica. Got his first real introduction to international football through CONCACAF League. Got spotted by Alajuelense in Costa Rica and has been a journeyman ever since. Has dealt with a multitude of injuries and looking to make a big impact. Meanwhile, Nick Ross will come on and replace Matt LaGrassa, the 30-year-old from Scotland, in his first season with Sacramento. That's a recurring theme with Mark Briggs' side this year. Just making his third appearance in the U.S. Open Cup. Played in the games against San Jose and the Portland Timbers U23s.
Just something to keep an eye on behind all of that, Tyler. We saw this in the game on the weekend against LAFC. Eric Tommy, German recent acquisition, went down right around the 50-minute mark, only played 61. He was gassed, just got caught cramping in the box. Had to get a little help from really Agata because of the amount of running he's doing. He's starting to feel it. Temperature's getting to him, limping on the near side here. You wonder how long he can progress through the game, given the fact that he really hasn't had that much repetition over the past couple of weeks.
$20 minutes remaining in this second semifinal. Still no score. Plenty of life, plenty of energy, and plenty of new faces on this field now as Agata sends it out wide. Hook towards the back post and well covered by Jack Gurr and company. And there's a look at the bracket coming into today. Orlando City and Red Bulls at Explory. Orlando City score 5 unanswered after Red Bulls take the lead. Who will take on the Lions on September 7th right here on ESPN+. John Champion and Taylor Twellman will be on the call as Martinez finding Foster, the substitute. Thought about the shot, back out for Martinez. Lashes it across, it squeezes all the way through. Graham Zusi needed to be sure. Mark Briggs is absolutely irate in the technical area. But despite his frustration, it will be a corner for his side.
Well, the difference in changes gives you a different look. What you're trying to accomplish here as you bring Malik Foster onto the front line, you rotate Douglas Martinez out to a more exterior position. He's better with the ball at his feet. He allows more interplay between the squad. Foster gives you the ability, especially in late games like that with the nature, to stretch the game. Down underneath, this comes down to Nick Ross, isolating the midfield, slowing things down. Everything just plays out like that in front of your eyes outside of the finished product.
Perhaps some set-piece magic from the Indomitable Club. As Felipe rises above the pack but can't steer the header on frame. Press from Sacramento paying off, and Mark Briggs encouraging the crowd here at Heart Health Park. Do we have a goal in regulation, Devin Kerr?
It feels like it's right there, just someone to step out into it. I would say that you look at the possession battle and what has been over the past 10 minutes. Sporting Kansas City, definitely the better team in terms of where they were located on the field. It's slowly started to drift the other way now, where Sacramento Republic is making Sporting play out of the back a lot more. They're having to travel further distances. That stretch that I just talked about that we've seen from Eric Tommy all game long, that's not a good look. You're asking him to come deeper, combine more, travel a lot further. In the beginning portion of this second half, that wasn't the case.
Lopez wanted to go for Foster. He was onside.
One more point off of that. You look at the two teams. We mentioned it coming in. It's been talked about all season long within MLS play. No Gadi Kinda, no Alan Polito, no guy to go to. They don't have the one. Now, Johnny Russell, you mentioned the William Wallace type, the takeover type guy. Even though he's faded, he can still provide you those moments. Republic have a couple of guys that are willing to do that. That's the biggest glaring difference between the two squads right now, is we've seen it from Villadere. Luis Felipe in the strikes, Roro Lopez, now Malik Foster. Who can step up for Sporting in a situation where they're getting punched at a little bit right now?
Kerr wants early delivery. Finds Malik Foster, great feed, but can't steer it on frame. The Jamaican has certainly been impactful since coming on just a few moments ago.
He's taken offense to my talk about the better feed from Douglas Martinez right outside the top of the 18. Just finds this gray area. How's the vision by Jack Gurr? That kind of pace behind the ball. Quick-witted touchback across. We've talked a couple of times tonight about the amount of respect that's been given to the Republic players at times. You have to be very careful of walking that fine line, giving too much space in front of you. In theory, simple to step up into. When you got a sub with the intention of Malik Foster, he's only going one direction in that situation.
Good ball in for Foster again. He's finding time, space, and now he's found Nick Ross. Donovan. Martinez had Isimat Marine on his back. Russell plays out and finds Willie Agata's feet beautifully. And the favors return. The skipper and DP on the move again. Challenge from behind. Russell putting on all the moves. Still Johnny Russell. Stopped in his tracks by Connor Donovan. It will be a corner. And Johnny Russell, despite having played 90 minutes over the weekend and with just 15 minutes remaining tonight, still full of life and vigor.
Super clean on the ball coming off the back line for Sporting Kansas City. Simple little touches, head up. Again, there's so much space here for Johnny Russell that as he cuts back in, Villadere leaving his feet, got to be very careful. You know where he's going every single time, and even the last-ditch effort almost gets away from him.
Voltaire. Vidiello bats it away. Shallowy stabbed away. Sacramento continue to bend, but they simply will not break. Russell on the turn, went for the nutmeg. Agata took a swipe. Martinez challenging, just making sure that Graham Zusi can't get a clean header. Sporting clean it up though. Fontas. Espinoza. A bit too direct. And everybody here at Heart Health Park can take a deep breath and continue to cheer their side on, who are 14 minutes away from extra time. You're starting to see a little bit of the fatigue.
Yeah, and you got to be really careful here from both teams. You start with Republic, too direct in nature. You know, the understanding right now from the back line of Sporting is just allow these balls to be played into him. You take a little bit of a risk in terms of the pace that you get out of Malik Foster. It's certainly a mismatch because he can outrun anybody on the back line. But the problem is there's no support. So even when the ball comes back over the top, Roro Lopez is trailing. He's played too long. He's tracked too much. Luis Felipe, much deeper in nature. And as the ball resets, notice they're a lot slower to challenge here. They got away with it against San Jose and LA Galaxy because they were in the lead. You got to chase a goal right now, but you also have to be very, very careful how much space you allow in behind, because we've started to see more out of Johnny Russell on that right-hand flank.
Lopez in for Foster. Jack Gurr getting forward on the right-hand side. Time and space to deliver. Blasts it across, and Zusi didn't exactly play that cleanly. Viader, the Spaniard, lofts it in. And what a play from Poolskamp coming off of his line, the 21-year-old with not even 10 Major League Soccer appearances to his name in a massive, massive spot for Sporting Kansas City. Nick Ross on the turn. Almost got caught with Willie Agata, a one-man pressing machine right now. Felipe, savvy to find Martinez. Switching the point of attack for Gurr. Ball into the corridor of uncertainty, skies it up. Poolskamp again off of his line. And the Bakersfield, California native able to collect. Roger Espinoza experiencing a little cramping in the middle of the park right now for Sporting Kansas City and Peter Vermees. And we're hearing that it's going to be Felipe Hernandez coming on as the next substitute. And he'll replace Eric Tommy in just a bit. Meanwhile, it's Russell. Took a deflection. Vitiello off of his line and able to beat Agata to the punch. In the words of Sir Alex Ferguson, it is officially squeaky bum time as we have 10 minutes remaining in regulation.
It's also the first time that Peter Vermees has got up off the bench in his technical area. 80 minutes, hasn't left the seat. Conversations constant with the guys next to him. The subs immediately out of the dressing room at halftime. Everybody from Sacramento Republic still on the bench. Every single player, minus the goalkeeper, up, working down in the corner. He's trying to find a way to break through, and there's the cramp again.
Tommy goes down. It's not a head injury, so Alan Chapman is not inclined to stop the game. Towards the back post, over the head of Foster and Sweat. Tommy barely limping back across midfield now. The substitution cannot come soon enough. Lopez. Tommy has gone down, and Sacramento will allow Alan Chapman to stop the game. And for more on the substitution, let's go down to Jordan Angeli.
That substitution, Peter Vermees, before it actually held Hernandez because Roger Espinoza was also cramping nearly at the same time. But when Tommy went down there towards the end, he got back up. Vermees got up off of his feet, off of his seat, and said, "Tommy, go down. We need to get this sub off." So here we are in a situation where you bring some fresh legs into a midfield who's been working really hard, but haven't quite found that magic touch yet.
And to the point now you're entrusting really the only attacking presence, all due respect to Espinoza, just the way that the play's gone on tonight on a 24-year-old on the road. And Felipe Hernandez, who he himself came off in the game against LAFC, had a little niggle on that hamstring of his. So you're only asking him to go about 7 minutes and change, depending on how much time is added onto the clock on the backside of this. It's been the main area of interest for Peter Vermes. Any conversation he's had has been about the lack of productivity, stepping out of the midfield, challenging the space in front of that back line. Eric Tommy certainly did so. We haven't seen enough out of Espinoza, and now those two, Hernandez and Espinoza, are going to be paired together.
So Hernandez, who did score in the quarterfinal against Union Omaha, will come onto the scene. 24-year-old from Colombia originally, moved to Nashville at a young age, eventually came up through the Sporting Academy, broke into the first team in 2019. Tev, you and I had the pleasure of covering him when he was with then what was called the Swope Park Rangers, now Sporting Kansas City 2, a fabulous young midfielder. And his services are more than needed right now. As Eric Tommy comes off, he gave about an hour against LAFC, gives about 80 minutes here in this semifinal. The atmosphere here at Heart Health Park has been nothing short of spectacular. Now they want the result to go with it. Gurr. Shallowy shouts for a handball, but instead we're going to have a stoppage for a head injury. When Jack Gurr sent that ball over on the right wing, he hit the head of Remy Voltaire, and despite the boos of Sacramento, this is the right play, or the right call, I should say, from Alan Chapman.
And they were also booing when Eric Tommy went down, and that's just fatigue, the attrition that has taken its toll on the German's body. And you're worrying behind the scenes the contact that occurs here. Still on the tail end of it, Tyler. I go back to the same thing, and I sound like a broken record. Peter Vermes said the exact same thing going down in. Where are the decisions? When Felipe Hernandez just comes on, that's the freshest legs on the field. He's got an entire passage opening up in front of him. Put this thing on the deck and knock it in, let him run through. Instead, you step on it. You take a second touch, a third. The avenue closes itself down. Real big issue for Sporting. And that seed of doubt starts to grow. It gets further and further here on the road. You're looking to find that breakthrough. You track back just before the break going the other way. That'll leave a mark. The service that Jack Gurr has provided Republic all night long on this right-hand flank. Good little step up by Voltaire to push it away. Certainly don't want to be on the receiving end of that.
So let me ask you this question. With all of the indecision and the inability to score and not capitalize on either team's mistakes, are we destined for penalties?
Earlier, it felt like a goal. I mean, when you look at the statistics within the game itself and everything that's been in front of us, we have 26 shots in this game, only one of which has hit the target for Republic, 4 of which have hit Sporting Kansas City. Law of averages tells you that you're able to get a result in this situation and go get a goal.
Jordan, what are you hearing down between the benches?
Well, not in this injury, really, timeout, but the one right before that, guys. It was interesting to watch both the benches. Sporting Kansas City was just the players on the field that came over to talk to the coaches. For Sacramento Republic, it was every single player on the roster. Everyone that were the substitutes came over, and they heard head coach Mark Briggs say, keep playing, be brave, be courageous, we can do this. A lot of inspiration coming from head coach Briggs here for Sacramento Republic.
Felipe Hernandez, fresh legs and then some, weaving his way through, putting it on frame, and Villieto had to parry it over the bar. And Hernandez immediately with one of his first touches of the evening, making his presence felt, and a corner coming up for the visitors.
This is what you need, though, if you're Peter Vermes. We've been asking for it all night long, the compliment to Eric Tommy. But in his absence, who's going to step up? The inability to find him in transition moments ago. This time, Hernandez goes it alone. Great job here. Look at the cutback inside. You catch the center back, turning back over the left shoulder. It's one of the hardest things to do as a defender. Maintain your momentum, track the runner, and then still get stuck in. Great job by the substitute.
In-swinger from Russell. Good-looking ball. Shouts for a handball. Hernandez again, blocked in front. Dinked in by Shallowy. Sweat sends it back from where it came. Russell. Good matchup here with Lopez. Dinks it in. Well done by Luis Felipe. Just got enough on it for Douglas Martinez. Excellent play from Mark Briggs' crew. Villader. Casey. Substitute Nick Ross. And given all the patience and pragmatic buildup, Mark Briggs, a literal scratch of the head, with that ball being a bit too direct given how good that buildup was. Knocking on the door of the 90th minute, still no score. Any goal now would surely be a game winner and send whoever scores it into the final on September 7th against Orlando City. Agata lines it up. Emergency from defending from Sacramento once again. Russell. Drawing two defenders. No surprise there. Voltaire. Fontas. Shallowy on the turn. And again, outstanding defending. This time it's Jack Gurr. Or pardon me, that's Dan Casey.
This is a heck of a turn, though, by Shallowy. Just on a dime. Watch this shoulder drop as it comes in. Squared off, plenty of space. There's a little bit of separation there. Jack Gurr doesn't slide over quick enough to close it down. Leaving your feet, one of the scariest things to do as a center back within the box. Utter perfection by Republic on the back line.
5 minutes of stoppage time in this semifinal. The corner's an in-swinger. Russell trying to get the shot away. Barely poked away by Luis Felipe. Hernandez once more. Vidiello collects, Sacramento breathes. Sporting Kansas City needed late game heroics deep into stoppage time against FC Dallas just to equalize and get themselves into extra time when they won 4-2. Foster did well to get in front of Sweat, stays on his feet, and wins a free kick. Boy, has the Jamaican been a menace since coming on.
They got a problem with their shape in the midfield right now. They've flattened it out way too much. Peter Vermees irate on his bench a second ago. Shallowy and Johnny Russell dropping back in. Willie Agata, you mentioned it, right around the 75th, 80th minute mark as he had just come on. He was the only one chasing, pressing, and no one was coming with him. As they drop off here, there's a clear separation from the back line itself, regardless of the one-on-one nature from Foster since coming on. It's a foul the first time, it's a foul the second, the third one most certainly.
The main man, Rodrigo Lopez, on top of the set piece. Holzkamp off of his line, easy enough. And Casey is down for Sacramento. And another apparent head injury, and that's the meaning of the stoppage from Alan Chapman.
That's not the best of balls. That's floated in by Roro Lopez. No fault on him, just puts it right at the top of the 6. Good job by Pulskamp coming off. Really impressed with the goalkeeper tonight, Tyler. The woes that have been John Pulskamp all season long. He's struggled. You know, in Open Cup play, he's had the solid back line in front of him. 3 goals given up in 3 appearances. League play, 6 goals given up in 3. Couple loan opportunities with MLS Next Pro Squad. 9 goals given up in 6. Only 1 shutout to his name in that entire argument. And yet, unwavering in his appearance here tonight. Off the line, in transition, strikes from distance. He's answered every single call that's been put forth.
Well, if you are going to make a deep run in a cup tournament, you're going to need your goalkeeper to make some big saves. And none were bigger in John Pulskamp's career than the one that he had on Keko about 20 minutes ago. Cleared away by Johnny Russell, all the way back defending from his position as a winger. Clever feed from Ross, no foul, and Sporting Kansas City in numbers the other way, and Nick Ross will take the yellow card.
He had to. The ball got caught up underneath his feet. He had to make a challenge here, otherwise they were off and running. Mismatch in numbers going the other direction. I credit Nick Ross in this situation. One of the better professional fouls we've seen throughout this game. Had to be.
Knocking on the door of extra time into the last minute of a minimum of 5. There was always going to be drama in this one. Casey with a strong header. Foster able to win it. Alan Chapman was about to blow his whistle. Elects not to. Russell attempting to thread the needle. Jack Gurr slips. He's injured as well. Sweat's delivery, handled by Vidiello. And that's going to do it. The second finalist of the 107th edition of Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup will be decided at the bare minimum in extra time. This sellout crowd of over 11,000 will get free football at Heart Health Park. It has been a heart-palpitating 90 minutes here in Northern California, but no goals to be had after 90-plus minutes. Connor Donovan and this back line for Sacramento Republic were absolutely magnificent. Both teams have had plenty of chances, but as the sentiment has been from both coaches in both league and cup play, they have not taken their chances in stride, and as a result, their fate will be decided with 2 15-minute halves, and if we can't sort it out then, well, then it's penalties. And we'll take a look at how the 90 minutes went down. Tyler Terrence, Devin Kerr, and Jordan Angeli between the benches. Devin, loads of chances, just nobody being lethal or taking them.
No, it's John Pulskamp on one end for Sporting Kansas City. It's every single player on the back line for Sacramento Republic as they have progressed forward. A couple really good opportunities put forth in front of him. Keko, this is the one thing that you could be critical of, is that he worked himself into the game, but all of a sudden his legs fell out. He was the one that was providing more of the opportunities. As they extended themselves one direction, Sporting finally, towards the tail end of the second half, got back into it. Felipe Hernandez coming off the bench, the way that he started to press through the midfield. Good looks coming from them. Not frequent enough, though. This is the chance that I'm talking about. Sometimes as a player, Tyler, when you look around at your team and it's not enough in terms of build up a play, strap on, throw everybody on your back, and go get it yourself. We saw a little look out of Felipe Hernandez. We've certainly seen a couple of looks from the front line of Sacramento Republic right now, neither of which has provided the breakthrough.
Well, for those of you who are not familiar with extra time in the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup, here's how it's going to go down. Tied after 90 minutes, that's exactly where we are. 2 15-minute periods will be played in full. There is no golden goal. One additional extra substitute is granted in addition to a sub window. And if tied after 120 minutes, we will go to penalties. Let's head down to Jordan Angeli.
Guys, this is fun. This is what we all wanted, some free soccer, right? What an atmosphere here. And it's been an incredible 90 minutes. But for overtime, both these teams have to go in feeling confident. For Sacramento Republic, they're a team who has not dropped points. They've won 10 games and tied 2 when they've had the lead. So 1 goal could be the difference here. But for Sporting Kansas City, they had 1 game where they played overtime in this Open Cup, and they scored a goal in each one of the halves. So they're going to use that experience, not only from that, but what they have on the field and players that have won Open Cups, because these are the moments you play for as a player. Aren't we so excited to be here? This is amazing.
It's incredible, Jordan, but I just have to ask that you're getting free soccer. That means that you had to pay to get in here, because that certainly is not how that should have gone down.
I did. I did. I had to pay to get down here on the field, so.
It was sold out, though. I thought the whole game was sold out.
It was sold out.
Jordan, just to be.
That's why I had to pay to get in here, because it was sold out.
Jordan, just to be clear, you are currently still in negotiations for overtime in terms of pay for us, correct?
Yes, but we can't talk about that stuff on air.
An indomitable paycheck for Devin Kerr. Yes. So we are just about ready to go for this extra time. And we are going to have a substitution, as it looks like it's going to be Sosa coming on for Mark Briggs. As we mentioned before, an extra sub and substitution window have been granted to both teams as we enter this extra time. Sosa will come on and replace Gurr. He picked up that injury right at the end of regulation. Devin, if you had to give an edge to one of these two teams heading into extra time, who would it be?
Listen, look around you and listen to this sold-out crowd. There's a belief here. All due respect to Sporting and what they've done and what they've been able to do in the past. Those troublesome woes have followed them on the road once again. You're matched up against a championship squad that knows nothing but determination and success within this season and cup run this year. That's a scary thing and very difficult to rip away from.
Alan Chapman appears to be ready to go. We hope you are all as well. Thank you for staying up. It's US Open Cup after dark. It's a spot in the final on the line, and it is extra time here in the capital of California, as Sacramento Republic and Sporting Kansas City will play another 30 minutes to try to figure out who is going to take on Orlando City on September 7th. If we cannot sort it out after half an hour, we're headed to 12 yards away. Sacramento Republic looking to become just the first team that's not from Major League Soccer to get to a US Open Cup final since 2008 when the Charleston Battery did it. Sporting Kansas City, you could argue this is their season. Double digits points off of the postseason and 1 game away from a cup final, as Agata sends this into the penalty area. Felipe trying to cushion it down, unable to do so. Rare giveaway there from Graham Zusi and an errant touch, and now it's Malik Foster on the turn. Wrapped up by Isimat Marine, still on his feet. The Jamaican having to elude Alan Chapman as well, and a dizzying amount of moves from Malik Foster, and plays out the other way. Sosa getting stuck in. Wonderfully done by Donovan, but stays in play. Hernandez. Johnny Russell. Viadair went to ground. Indeed, it was a foul. Johnny Russell claiming that perhaps for persistent infringement, he should go into the book. But when you're a player of Johnny Russell's caliber and style and you take that many touches, getting fouled is part of the game. And now a dangerous set-piece opportunity for Sporting Kansas City. And you just feel these chances, particularly from restarts, Devin, starting to stack up for the visitors.
I feel for Dami Viadair in this situation, having to mark up against Johnny Russell, though. And that explosion of speed is so difficult to handle. I mentioned the hips before. The idea is that, yeah, he wants to get down into the byline, but Johnny Russell's so good with that cut back across, favored left foot. Sac has changed their shape again. Much deeper, flattened out for sure. But the only representation up top is Malik Foster.
Russell keeps it low. Won by Martinez. He didn't know much about it. Now Sweat. Hernandez matched up with Sosa. 2 substitutes. Voltaire. The curler. Not too far away, Daniel Shallowy. Foster. Dispatched by Isimat Marine. This time gets the better of the Jamaican substitute. Espinoza. Shallowy, positive first touch, unloads, Viniello parries it away. As that ball was knuckling any which way. Zusi on the delivery, and Agata can't steer it on frame.
With the addition of Faraday Sosa to the outside, he's having a little trouble tracking the runs of Daniel Shallowy. He's much more linear in nature than what you get out of Jacker, who is comfortable coming back to the inside. So as he stays, smartly done by Shallowy. Watch the rotation. Head up, Voltaire, and there's the little cut back to the inside. You find this pocket where you already started to commit in the wingback spot. If you're Faraday Sosa, that's troublesome over the past couple of minutes, Tyler. It was the tail end of regulation, and now the start of this first period here. Got to be smarter. Also watch on the left side, Ben Sweat coming much higher into the attack. It's a 2v1. Got to provide proper coverage if you're Republic.
Felipe on the turn. Martinez. Sacramento galloping forward. Felipe trying to step through. Broken up by Ben Sweat. Still no call, and now it will be a corner from Alan Chapman. Met by Russell at the near post. Espinoza. Out wide for Zusi. Met by Villader. Espinoza, good entry ball in for Shallowy, and it's off the bar, and it was nearly an own goal. Shallowy cracks the woodwork in the first half of extra time. Vitiello planted to the line, and Sporting Kansas City will have a corner as Casey almost planted it in his own net.
So customary in nature for both Johnny Russell and Shallowy on these quick little cutbacks. The issue coming here for Zusi is he had no help, but watch the move coming all the way back across Shallowy. We just talked about this. Makes himself at home right outside the top of the 18. How's your aim? It's about an inch off. Otherwise, that's your game winner.
Russell on the corner. One at the near post by Espinoza, and out for a goal kick.
You progress further and further into these games. Yes, the physical toll is something that you have to talk about, but your mind is one of the most difficult things to manage because it wears itself down. Twice in the last 4 minutes, we've talked about Shallowy in the cutback in, right? You've got to be better in communication. They always say, let the ball do the work. For Republic, this is about your mouth right now. Tracking these runs, passing guys off, because one-on-one, they're slacking off in this situation. They're allowing too much space and time for some of the more advanced players for Sporting.
Espinoza sees a crunching challenge from Ross right in front of Alan Chapman, no call. Espinoza slow to get to his feet, has already started cramping earlier this game before we headed to extra time. Ben Sweat now. Won by Casey, still in the neighborhood. Martinez needs to be careful, it's Hernandez, and this time Vitiello doesn't need the crossbar because it's gonna sail out of play. The Academy product has certainly made his presence known since coming on.
Now Shallowy has come back over. Felipe Hernandez rotating out of the pocket. Nice little 2v1 on the far side. Love what I'm seeing out of Ben Sweat here. Just stepping higher and higher. You make an argument that, okay, well, that leaves Douglas Martinez exposed by himself on the back line. But Fontas and Isimat Marin doing a good job closing them down in space, and the coverage that you're getting out of Voltaire on the inside. Unprecedented within this game. He's been all over the pitch. Certainly not as high as we'd like to see him, but he's locked down the central midfield spot.
Sosa keeps it in play. Martinez challenging, shouts for a handball on Andreu Fontas. Fall on deaf ears. About 4 minutes remaining in this first period of extra time. We do have our first woodwork sighting by way of Daniel Shallowy just a few moments ago. Russell. Fontas. Hernandez. Stout rotation and shape from Sacramento. And this is what the Republic can do to you. They can squeeze the life out of you even when you feel like you're dominating the game. Just ask the Earthquakes in LA Galaxy. Sweat. Now Martinez needs to get out of trouble. And he's able to win a throw-in.
That's good closure by Faraday Sosa because Johnny Russell had come right to the top of the box. They were trying to bring it square. And the 3 attackers on the front line, Russell and Shallowy, starting to find a lot more space on the inverting runs. It's certainly not what we saw out of them really all game. Just watch the steps coming off the back line as well. Fontas, 4 times since the 80th minute, has taken that step up into the pocket. And when you get Sweat coming high, Ramzusi coming in as well, be really careful what you wish for in terms of distribution. That 1 turnover is exactly what Republic are looking for.
Big ball over the top for Russell. It's picture perfect. Johnny Russell straight into Vitiello. And Russell is injured on the other end. And Sporting Kansas City fans hold their breath. They simply cannot afford, literally and figuratively, to lose another DP to injury as Russell limps his way barely out of the penalty area on the other end of the field via Dare. Casey. Desmond asking for support on the left-hand side. Elects to go centrally.
104 minutes in, and the ability to continue with your pace if you're Johnny Russell. I mentioned that on the weekend against LAFC, 90 minutes. Little cutback across his body. It's the one touch that he wasn't able to get on the left-hand side. You know that he wants it on the left peg.
Sweat and Hernandez having fun over on the left-hand side. As Sweat is starting to cramp. Rodrigo Lopez also getting some treatment, or makeshift treatment, you could say, from Faraday Sosa. And that'll do it for the first half of extra time. 15 minutes in the books, 15 more to play. And if there are no goals to be scored, or if we're still tied, we will head to penalties. Devin, thoughts on the first half of extra time?
One-way traffic for Sporting Kansas City. I mean, they definitely had the better of the opportunities. There's still glimpses on the other side. You wonder a little bit with the change of shape for Mark Briggs. You know, they started with 5 in the midfield. Roro Lopez rotated in the 10. They flattened it out, dropped 3-4-3. Now all of a sudden, he's got a flat 5 shape across the middle. The idea is that Nick Ross is going to come underneath, but we haven't seen that enough. So if he doesn't drop down in, that's why you're seeing Johnny Russell, Daniel Shallowy start to compress into those spaces and give them the opportunities that were aplenty in the opening 15 minutes here.
And we'll take a look at those chances as they were plentiful for Peter Vermees' side, much to the dismay of Mark Briggs. This one certainly needed to be dealt with by Vitiello, but it was the chance here from Daniel Shallowy that almost sent the Sporting camp into a frenzy.
This is inches from a masterclass on what you need to do if you're not finding space or the ball on the outside. It's just a frustrating attacking unit right now. Johnny Russell started strong, he faded. This was the one look that he got within that opening 15 minutes. It's the last touch I mentioned that gets out onto that right foot. He wanted to come back across. It's a good job on the tail end of it by Lee Desmond to close it down.
And there's a look at the bracket and what these two sides are playing for. A spot in the final of the 107th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. That final will be in Orlando at Exploria Stadium no matter what. The question is, who will it be? Second division side, Sacramento Republic of the USL Championship, led by Mark Briggs, or will it be Sporting Kansas City, led by a legend and the most tenured coach in Major League Soccer at the moment, and a man who's won this competition 4 times over as a player and a coach, 3 in charge of this storied franchise. Johnny Russell has had his fair share of chances, including a 1v1 with Danny Vitiello that he could not quite wrap his foot around. Sacramento Republic, with the home crowd at their back on their own patch, trying to get something, anything, out of the second 15 minutes of extra time before leaving it up to the footballing gods from 12 yards away. John Pulskamp hasn't been called into action much tonight, but when he has, it's been emphatic. The 21-year-old keeper has gotten his turn in US Open Cup. Whether or not Tim Melia would have started tonight if he was healthy, we'll simply never know. And John Pulskamp is writing his own story in between the sticks for Sporting, but these indomitable supporters want one more game. They want one more chance to dream.
Relax, relax.
15 more minutes of extra time. No golden goal. We'll play it all the way through. Kept in play, and Sporting Kansas City have a problem right now. Foster. It's Lopez, and that's easy enough for Pulskamp. Donovan misread it. Agata, was he fouled at the edge of the area? Alan Chapman says play on. Felipe Hernandez putting on the brakes, going for goal. It falls kindly to Russell, the last man you want if you're Sacramento. Espinoza, the curler, blocked before it could get to Vitiello. And it's coming out the other way. A handball on Ben Sweat.
I was a little surprised they didn't blow a whistle here in this situation. Advantage? Possibly. I don't really see it, though, because when the ball springs back out, every single defender for Republic is just right in front of them. We asked a little bit more from Espinoza throughout this game. He's definitely playing a more advanced role, still not on the ball a ton, and the rotation and heavy legs from Republic starting to show a bit more. Longer in the tooth because of everything that their bodies have had to endure. The back three unwavering for Sacramento Republic. It's the activity just in front of them that's been troublesome for the home squad.
Over the top for Martinez. Sweat has to deal with it. And deals with it beautifully. Ross already on a yellow card, has to be careful. Agata now. Rolling it along for Johnny Russell. Towards his right foot, clips it across, and Vitiello bats it over the crossbar, and another corner for Sporting Kansas City. Mutual respect between the two skippers in Lopez and Russell.
That's smartly done by Vitiello because he doesn't get the opportunity to peek back behind him. There's no communication. It's a situation as a goalkeeper. Better safe than sorry. Just punch this up over the bar. allow your team to reset. If it comes back through and there's a runner on your backside, you're in trouble.
From the training ground, Hernandez takes a touch. Off the back heel of Ross. Shallowy, acres of space. Into the area. Shallowy, blocked by Donovan. Bounces, shout for a handball. Chapman says no. Peter Vermees and the Sporting Kansas City bench are livid. Russell, magnificent touch. It's Agata, but it's Viniello who beats him to the punch. A big collision between the Nigerian and New York native. Obviously, Agata was going for the ball, and it was late. But Viniello took a shot to the chest. Reminder, there is no VAR.
All right, just go back to the moment just prior. Watch the right arm. It's actually coming close to the body. It gets right around that bicep. But the thing is, it's not an unnatural position, and it's on the torso. No pen. Great job by the referee. And then the cut back to the inside. Agata, plenty of space. The first touch. Wow. Got to be better in this situation. That's poor, and that's all you can say from the striker who's come on to help out. Hit it first time. Take the touch right in front of you. Can't allow it to escape the process of what should have been the opening goal for Sporting.
Does he simply need to hit that on the first time?
I'm hitting it first time. I don't understand. If you've got that many bodies around you, you're right at the top of the six. If you can get a touch, more than likely that space is going to be closed down quite rapidly. Your momentum is already carrying you towards the ball. Step right into it, head down, right on the instep, and put it on frame.
Here's a man who wants to put it on frame, Douglas Martinez. Sosa onside. AC Montmarine meets the header. Sosa's delivery not good enough. And one of the few times in extra time that we've seen Sacramento pin Sporting Kansas City back. Donovan. He wants a shot at the club that gave him a shot in Orlando City. Foster. How good is this hold-up play on AC Montmarine, in which he's conceding about 4 to 5 inches and wins the free kick.
He's been tremendous, Malik Foster, since coming on. It's going to give you something to think about in your matchup on the weekend against the Charleston Battery. 3v1. Malik Foster still trying to come out on the end of it. The anger coming off the back line from AC Montmarine, because you could have called a foul the first time, and he stepped in, but he stood his ground and kept the play in front of him, and his frustration was the support coming back to get stuck in and give up the infraction.
Lopez clips it in, met by Russell, and it will be a handball in Villader. They go quickly. Chapman will bring it back.
Bit of a gift. Put it down. The ball wasn't moving. Started playing
Christmas
right
in
away.
July.
There's stranger holidays out there.
Foster applying the pressure. Douglas Martinez and the entire Sacramento Republic side, with the exception of Sosa, had stepped up on their responsible marks. Shallowy with the nutmeg. Oh, incredible feat from the Hungarian. Now Hernandez into space. What a goal this would be from Sporting. But broken up by Sosa. Martinez keeps it in play, as does Sosa. Composed defending from Andreu Fantas. The Spaniard, 32 years of age, in his third season with Sporting, not bothered whatsoever by the Jamaican. Peter Vermees is incensed because he believes that came off the bottom of the foot of Douglas Martinez, and now the call has been changed. The fourth official was having a conversation with Alan Chapman, and that's fair play to the refereeing crew. If Alan Chapman did miss it and the fourth official had a better view, well within the right to be able to communicate that.
And Briggs is asking for a shout from the sideline as well, because the AR just in front of us was actually pointing the other direction. See a touch off the bottom of the foot. Watch the rotation of the ball. 100%. This is the right decision.
And that's not something you see every day, a referee offering a little stretching of the hamstring for Ben Sweat.
He's working on the bonus just like we are.
Well, if this game goes any longer, Alan Chapman's probably going to need somebody to stretch him out as well. And we're hearing that it's going to be Logan Ndembe who's going to come on to replace Sweat, who at 30 years of age has given 115 minutes of just hard work. No other way to put it. He has been flying up and down that left flank. And now Ndembe, 22 years of age, from Belgium, in his first season, and spent some time with the Belgian youth teams, will come onto the scene. He started against LAFC over the weekend. In behind for Agata. Espinoza touches it along. It's Russell, and Viniello once again with a save. Well, he's had the support of the Sacramento defense at his front and the support of the Tower Bridge Battalion at his back.
There's just a calmness about Viniello. He doesn't hit the panic button ever. He's got the perfect setup for him on this save on the near post.
Towards the back post, and it's going to come out the other way as Sporting Kansas City can't even get ahead to what was a pretty delicious service from Russell due to a foul. Let's head down to Jordan Angeli for an update on Ben Sweat.
Well, you guys are talking about how much added attack he had in that first part of overtime. Well, it might have been the detriment to him because he just is now getting up. He came off the sideline, went straight down onto the field, and chugged about a bottle of electrolytes. But this has been the side that Sacramento Republic have been attacking, and it's a lot with Douglas Martinez, who this is someone that they're trying to exploit on this sideline.
And with so much on the line, this crowd becoming a bit more restless. And it's going to be Archimed who comes on, the Guadeloupe native. And he'll replace Douglas Martinez, who gave 117 minutes of his heart and soul, and hoping that his comrade can help close the door. And perhaps Archimed will play a role in this second half of extra time, or perhaps from the penalty spot.
The key thing is going to be the rotation here with Malik Foster coming to the outside. Aggression is the only thing that Ndembe knows. So with the finite amount of moments that are left here, he's going to push really high. Foster's got to make sure that he's two-way in this situation. And for Archimed, confidence. What do you have? He was part of the team that went on the road in their domestic play against Phoenix Rising in the USL Championship. Had a couple of opportunities, one of which was point-blank one-on-one with the goalkeeper from about 10 yards out. Hit it right at him. And talking with Mark Briggs, he just said, listen, confidence lacking in all the nines. You wonder what he's like behind the scenes, because normally he's not the guy that they look to from dead ball situations 12 yards out.
Ndembe One of his first touches of the night. Kept in play by Felipe Hernandez. Voltaire. In for Agata. Fending off Desmond. Espinoza's delivery took a deflection. Donovan heads it away, but only as far as the Frenchman Voltaire. Fontas. Archimed giving everything that he has with just a few minutes remaining. And Sacramento continue to frustrate this Sporting Kansas City side. Towards the back post, nothing doing. Is there perhaps one more chance left in store? Thumped away by Isimat Marine. The Frenchman in no uncertain terms making sure that they will not concede in the 121st minute. A deep throw and one by Sacramento. And Mark Briggs making sure that his side understands to make this the last play of extra time before we head to penalties. Sosa launches it in. Helped along, cleared off the line. It's Desmond and it's over the bar. And the opponent in which Orlando City will face will be decided from 12 yards away. John Pulskamp and Danny Vidiello will take center stage at Heart Health Park as this semifinal will be decided by penalties.
How's the run to the near post here for Sacramento Republic, and the little flick on springs right at the top of the 18. We've given a lot of credit to the back line of the Quails, but how about the ability to step up into space here? The first one, glory in the bottom corner written all over it. And yet, Pulskamp sets his troops. Little step up there by Zusi. The only remaining member from that title-winning squad earlier in the decade back in 2012. Keeps this thing out of the back of the net. And the dream is alive for both of them.
Now we head into a very interesting part in this sport, Devin, because each coach, each team, all players have different feelings and different thought processes about penalties. There's no way to understand what's going on with inside both of these huddles right now. But what's being said, what's being relayed to the players, the confidence in which some of these players have. Obviously, both teams will have trained in penalties throughout this entire competition and leading up to this game specifically. What are some of the things that might be varying in terms of some of these guys and what they're saying to their crew?
Let's start with Mark Briggs, because with about 5 minutes to go, he already had his book out and was planning out what takers he thought they would be. So right now, he's already in the huddle. Decisions have been made, motivations. Guys, we can do this. We have the belief. We've come this far. 5 of us can now change the fate and eternity for everybody moving forward. Peter Vermees was a little bit slower in nature in that aspect, but my key takeaway from that was just like our conversation last night. He was very quick to point out how he does things, and he says, doesn't mean I'm doing it right. It's how we go about things. So he said it was a little bit slower to get into the conversation, but as he stands now, they have committed to who is going out there. They've walked back over, and he's got to find a way to promote some emotion, because you've addressed it a couple of times. Bottom of the Western Conference, struggled to score goals, haven't kept balls out of the back of the net, and yet they're right here. That belief has to resonate because it's a manager who's done it as a player, who's done it as a coach. There are guys here that have been a part of these cup runs that need to pick themselves up right now and say, it's not all bad. We can go get a victory as well.
It comes down to a matter of technical ability and focus from 12 yards away. The earlier semifinal won by Orlando City. Let's just say it didn't go to penalties. 5-1 was the final score over Red Bulls after they conceded the first goal of the game right towards the end of the first half, clawed their way back in, and then thumped Red Bulls and just roared their way into the final. And their opponent will be decided through penalties. Sporting Kansas City, 4-time winners, trying to become just the first MLS team to win this competition 5 times. The only 2 teams to win it 5 times. The Bethlehem Steel, no, not the former USL Championship team, and Maccabi Los Angeles. 3 teams have won it 4 times. Sporting Kansas City, Seattle Sounders, and the Chicago Fire. Meanwhile, for the Sacramento Republic, they're trying to become the first team in almost 15 years from a non-MLS side to get to a final. The last one to do it, the Charleston Battery of 2008. Neither team has gotten to penalties in this competition so far. So it's clear that Sporting Kansas City won the coin toss because the penalties are not happening in front of the Tower Bridge Battalion. Final words of instruction from Alan Chapman to Vidiello and Pulskamp. No VAR. The decision as to whether keepers are coming off their line too early will be made in real time. And the first taker of the night, a man who Sporting Kansas City have leaned on in this tumultuous season time and time again. Their main man, in the words of Peter Vermees, their William Wallace, Johnny Russell. Never any question about that one. Vidiello probably could have been standing over there and still wouldn't have been able to stop that missile from the Scotsman.
How's your nerves? I mean, to your point, you could have just stood there right in the corner and said, have at it. Johnny Russell puts everything behind it. You know, the leader, the ever-present light on the front line for Sporting Kansas City. Thick, thin, up, down in this season that has been. That's a heck of a start.
And now it's the Spaniard hailing from Barcelona, Tamia Villader. Joined the side coming over from Union Omaha, who Sporting Kansas City dispatched in the quarterfinals to get here. To level things at 1. Villader. Excellent penalty. And Sacramento are off and running.
As good as Johnny Russell's was, Villader says, hold my adult water. How's this strike? Upper 90, right off the underside of the bar. Some kind of confidence. Rattled a little bit in Open Cup play tonight against Johnny Russell. Not the case from 12 yards out.
Now it's Daniel Shallowy for Sporting Kansas City. He was magnificent on the night, but couldn't find the back of the net. Trying to do so in penalties. And able to do so, and then some. All 3 penalties thus far. Stupendous.
You wondered as he hit this if he had leaned back too much. Watch his body positioning. Just at the tail end of this, head starts to come up. Hips don't close as much as you'd like, but he'd already sent Vidiello sent him the other way. Coming back across that left-hand side. Goalkeeper's nightmare.
And now it's Luis Felipe who has 3 straight game winners. This would be to equalize at 2 in penalties. Beautiful. Back and forth we go, level at 2 after 2 rounds.
That's your game winner against Galaxy. Round and round the rotations. Just talked about the closer on one side. Watch him open this thing up at the end. Apologies to Pulse Camp.
And now it's newcomer Willie Agata. 2 weeks ago, he was in Israel. Now in Northern California, trying to help Sporting Kansas City into a final. Just his 2nd appearance for the club. Agata, saved by Viniello. But he was off his line too early. And Agata will get a 2nd bite of the apple and have a shot at redemption. He doesn't even know it yet.
It's a heck of a read by Viniello, but as he comes over to the right-hand side, not the best of penalties. The stutter, it causes the goalkeeper a bit of concern. It's a little close. I have to lean with the referee's decision here, though. It's that little stutter by Agata. Viniello has already started to lean. His momentum takes over. He can't recover. And neither can the ball. Need one of those to play, guys.
So now the question is, if you're Willie Agata and that left-hand side is your spot and that's where you go, do you go again? Mind games aplenty at Heart Health Park with this semifinal hanging in the balance. Agata again. And this time he buries it. Now it's the substitute, Luther Archimed, to level things at 3. Archimed came on as a substitute in the 118th minute of extra time. A 22-year-old originally from Guadeloupe, also in his first season with Sacramento. Sends Pulse Camp the wrong way, and we're level once more. Who will blink first?
You can't understand the confidence you have to have if you're Archimed. You're not the #1 go-to in terms of the lineup. You're certainly not the first off the bench. Trouble hitting the back of the net, trouble on the weekend against Phoenix Rising, and to step up in this moment and be as cool as you possibly can against a goalkeeper who's had himself a night. Hats off, young man.
Now Felipe Hernandez, another substitute, an academy product. Calm, cool, and collected in a massive moment. And a yellow card for his transgressions after the fact.
Outside of the miss, we've had some high-quality penalties taken tonight. And Felipe Hernandez, again, it's the same thing. Goalkeeper, watch Viniello. He sees the body start to lean towards the left-hand side. He tries to guess early. The hesitation by Agata the first time, and twice now we've seen the hips open go the other direction for Sporting Kansas City.
The Jamaican Malik Foster. The Panenka, absolutely disgusting. In a moment that called for all sorts of composure, he pulls out all the stops.
Malik Foster, apologize now. This guy's got a family. What are you doing out here? The nerve in this situation to go that route, to employ this method.
Everything you could want and more in a penalty shootout. Graham Zusi, the 35-year-old veteran, hoisted this trophy plenty of times. Saved by Viniello! Improbable scenes, and Sacramento Republic are a penalty away from their skipper from getting to a final.
You look at that save, the fifth kicker. I look at the number 46, 46% of the time that Viniello is on his line, this is the end result. Sends the opposition packing. Full extension for Viniello and an opportunity for Roro.
Who else would you want to be in this spot if you're Sacramento? Rodrigo Lopez. It's improbable. It's indomitable. It's another cup set, and Sacramento Republic are off to the final.
Of course, it's Roro Lopez from the spot. Every single player on this team has the belief and determination that they can and will do anything it takes to push them to victory. The question mark coming into the season for Mark Briggs, if you get Roro Lopez, what's it gonna be? Didn't go as planned in 2020. He took off to RGV. He took them to places that club had never seen. But coming back in was coming home. The Miracle at Bonnie in 2014, the only team in the championship in history to win the entire title in the first year. Down 2-0 against the Galaxy Los Dos. 3 goals from Roro Lopez, 2 from the spot, and the winner tonight, and proof that dreams really do come true.
And standing by with Malik Foster is our own Jordan Angeli.
Out in here, this is pretty incredible. You just told me something about Sacramento. What was it?
I love Sacramento, man. I love soccer too. Oh, it's a beautiful moment for us. I love it, man.
You came in and you changed this game. What did you see on the bench that you knew you could come in and make a difference?
Actually, all week my coach was I love you, bro. The whole week we were watching video and we see that we can exploit the 2 center halves. So I did what the coach wanted me to do, and you see we get the result today.
That PK. What in the world? The confidence. I think everybody took a huge gasp. Did you hear it?
Well, I hear it, but the thing is, what the number 18 did, it get to my head. So I said I have to do back something to show him that he's not him alone can show off, you know?
Yeah, I think you won that contest. Congratulations. Go celebrate with your squad.
The dark arts on full display from Malik Foster. Snatching souls, snatching hearts, The smiles, the scenes at Heart Health Park right now are difficult to put into words. And Jordan Angeli is now standing by with one of the main men of that penalty kick shootout, Danny Vitiello, who only required one save to be able to send his side into the final. Jordan.
But that save, Tyler, was the big difference maker. Danny, what'd you see on that? How did you know? You knew you had one in you, didn't you?
I don't even know what you asked. Can you say that again?
You knew you had a save in you in that penalty shootout.
Yeah, I mean, I always go into a penalty shootout thinking I only need one. The boys stepped up. All 5 of them made it. I mean, unreal. I have no words.
Let's talk about the game a little bit. You had 7 saves. Your defensive team had 14 blocks. What's the mentality of this group?
I mean, all 11 players are just defense first. You know, we're trying to every game to get a clean sheet. I mean, it's unreal the work that these boys put in. The defenders are amazing. Everyone's amazing.
One more game. You're going to Orlando. How much of this can you soak up before it's turning the page, thinking about you guys are almost making it into Champions League?
I mean, we're focused on Saturday. We got another big game in the league. Oh, I mean, look at the TV. I mean, everyone's celebrating. I can't believe it.
Okay, get over there, celebrate.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Unbelievable scenes in the capital. Sacramento Republic, a second division side, takes down their 3rd Major League Soccer outfit in the 2022 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. And if they do it one more time, as Jordan said, they will find themselves in CONCACAF Champions League. Sporting Kansas City ousted in the semifinal by a score of 5-4 in penalties. For our entire crew, Tyler Terrence, Devin Kerr, and Jordan Angeli saying so long for now. What an incredible night.